And welcome to the strongest fitness Warhammer podcast in the entire universe, barring finding out that there's a stronger one somewhere else not on Earth. Welcome to the Strength Hammer podcast, episode 123.
Wow, that's a big number.
That's
That's
a big
great.
number. We've been doing a lot. And thank you. Everyone's still liking, subscribing, and growing. Please keep sharing. We're on that road to 1,000. Because that's when YouTube helps with things, not necessarily I'm not really worried about monetizing too much still, but algorithm stuff. Because I just enjoy talking Warhammer with my friends.
Yay.
Um, anyway, Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Today is a holiday in the US, so we are
Yep,
sleeping in a little bit.
yep. Well, yeah,
But
it's well, we usually record Thursdays. We're recording Monday because it's Martin
yes,
Luther King Day, so we're off today. In celebration of a wonderful man. Um, so yes, it's a weird timing because it's when I think I'll record with Neil probably on Thursday. So if there's some news going on, you'll see something like that.
a
But
lot of thing happening. Yeah,
could be. But yeah, but how's your Monday? How's your holiday Monday here in the U.S.? The few holiday Mondays that we get.
Monday's great. Monday's great. I'm excited for today. I'm glad to get the day started relatively early for a holiday,
Hmm.
and yeah, no, I'm excited for today. Gonna hit leg day later.
Ooh, nice. Um, well, let's start before you hit legs.
Sure.
There's a little bit of cardio we got to talk about that everyone on our side of the country has to do right now. Our portion of the country. Because last night I had about a foot of snow.
Right.
So how's your
Right.
lawn?
We the lawn is not seen, but there's a lot of snow here as well. We have probably had a little less than a foot here. I
Okay.
would say maybe 8 9 inches, but we had a good bit here as well. But it's very nice. The snow is cleaned up. The driveway is clean. The lawn is hidden. The weather, the scenery is beautiful.
Oh, it is. It's
I'm
stunning.
in love with this weather. Last year we had maybe a total of a week and a half of snow, and here we have already a full 3 weeks of consistent snow, winter wonderland. So I'm a happy camper with that weather.
Well, I hope it continues through next week because next weekend, Alex, is Ice Fest in town over here.
Oh
So
yes,
I'll remind you. I'll remind you so you can come out, even if it's just with your friends or with somebody. But it's I know you like it too. So
absolutely.
um, yeah.
How's your lawn?
Oh, my lawn is so buried in snow. We had 5 inches yesterday before I went to bed.
Ooh, wow.
Um, I I shoveled in the morning,
Hmm.
and I say cardio. That's bonus cardio, and it's
Sure.
really not even cardio at this point. It's just I literally have to sprint while I'm doing it to get the heart rate up because otherwise I'm used to it.
It's part of
Um,
life.
but shoveled twice, once in the morning when it was very light, and then it was just snowing all day. Plans got canceled, which was good because I also
Mm,
commentate on the Warhammer streams for events, so I was able to jump in sooner on the LVO stream and help with
sure.
that. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, and then I shoveled. I did the, oh my god, perfect. I'm not a dad, but you get a perfect dad moment as you get older. I was looking outside. Sun was kind of getting low. I'm like, I bet I have 20 minutes of sunshine left. I'm gonna go shovel just to get ahead of
Sure.
it. Because like I said, about
Oh, yeah.
5 inches yesterday. Shoveled it all. Came back inside, turned around. It was just pitch dark. I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
High five self. There we go.
I help you in spirit.
Right. And thankfully that got rid of all the heavy stuff. Because there was like that melt we had. So
Oh, yeah, yeah,
it's all fluffy stuff. So after this recording, I'm gonna go shovel, but it's gonna be a joy because it's gonna be
yeah.
lightweight, baby.
Right. Ain't nothing but a peanut.
Yeah,
Um,
lawns are doing good today.
yes, yes. And I mean, honestly, the worst part about this weather is just driving. Not even driving itself; it's just driving with other people on the road. But other than that, man, like I am. If this could stay like this for another month and a half, I'd be more than happy. This is
Well,
this is like awesome.
yeah, if it stayed, it's gonna be bitter cold the next couple days. So make sure you do the whole open the counter drawers, turn the faucet drip.
Sure,
It's
sure.
gonna be bitterly cold, but yeah, I wouldn't mind if the snow stayed. Especially if it's not snowing consistently, like every once in a while, because then the roads get kept up with, and we can go do stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So lovely weather during our lawn talk.
Yes, yes. Well, okay. With the lawn talk out of the way for Alex this week and for me, I'll probably talk about it again because I'll forget. Um, let's get into some fitness chat, Alex.
Yeah,
You've
man.
you started a little I don't want to call it a challenge. You started a little group
Yeah.
that help encourage each other because you were going into a long 4 month cut.
Hmm.
So you're asking around and a couple guys who were interested in joining, and then we had a little bonus. Shout out to Steve out there,
Yes.
one of our faithful listeners, wanted to join in us too. So we have a little WhatsApp going for a small crew as we're working through a 4 month cut.
Hmm.
So tell us about it. Give us the dream. What's going on with
Yeah,
this? Why are we doing
absolutely.
this?
So, yes, yes. So I've personally not done a very long committed cut for a very long time, for various reasons. But now I'm coming out of a 4 month bulk, right, since August, and you're coming out of a maintenance, I think, right?
Yeah, I've been maintenance for probably a year, but that maintenance was heavier percentage of body fat, so cut wouldn't
Sure.
hurt.
Right, exactly. And I wanted to commit to a 4 month cut, maybe outside of a health concern that would arise. If it does, obviously stop. But I wanted to commit to something hard and do it. But I also remembered how much it sucked to be on cut for even close to that time.
Yeah.
So having accountability and encouragement and pushing others along, uh, I thought it would be helpful. So I started a chat. So I asked around, asked you. I asked, no, so all is in the group is myself, Chuck, our friend, mutual friend Mike,
Mm-hmm.
and my friend Jake, and then Chuck's friend Steve.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty good. I'm liking it. Like a 4 month cut. Originally, that you said that I'm like, oh boy. Like I've done cuts before for like 30 days, 2 months, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Um, but I kind of had a I'm like, okay, broke it down. Can like, all right, what's my end goal, and how do I backtrack through there? It's kind of what I did
Mhm.
to break it down. So, I guess what's your ultimate goal? Is it just to lean out? Get are you aiming to get that 6 pack showing?
Yeah, I mean, that's not one of my goals necessarily. Like, it's not a written
Yeah,
goal for me.
you're not a vanity type person. So like, but like,
Right. But if it does, I mean,
but
it's
also
likely
listen, you
to
have a
happen.
business on Instagram. If you have those pictures, you're good forever. Okay.
Sure, sure, that's fair. That's fair. That's a whole another subject about
Yeah, it's
whether
fine. It's fine.
right. But my goals are to primarily lose fat, maintain muscle.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm trying to do. I clocked in at about 205 walking weight at the peak bulk, right?
Hmm.
It would go up sometimes a little higher, 206, sometimes a little lower, 204. So my goal is to get to around 4 months, a long time, around 185, 190 walking weight,
Okay.
right? So it means 180, 185 dry, like first thing in the morning after going to the bathroom. That's my goal weight, which is about 15-pound loss. So my goal is to lose most of that through fat, hopefully maintain most muscle, maybe even build some, but obviously, it's challenging to do both at the same time.
Right.
And that's because of that hefty goal. I just wanted to extend it to 4 months. And this way, it's still challenging, but you can definitely ease into it. It's more of a marathon instead of doing it for 30 days, which I've done before. And like you said, it's just hard,
Yeah.
right? Because you have very limited time.
Yeah. And like I said, it's good. It's nice and it's slow. There's nothing we're rushing for. Neither one of us are doing any sort of shows or competitions for fitness or strength. So, um, but yeah, mine was kind of similar. Like I sit around 215, between 212, 215. It kind of fluctuates how I guess how my eating and sleeping's going. But I'd like to get down to 205 walking weight.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
like I started there. I'm like, okay, it's only 10 pounds. So like you break it down like this many per week. And honestly, like looking at it, I was like, okay, well with this, obviously clean up some things like less sweets because we got into the sweet treat section of our life because the holidays always do that.
Sure.
Um, backing off, like I said, on the alcohol consumption, mentioned that last week. And like, is there good days, bad days? Yeah, absolutely,
Yes.
there is.
Yes.
But like, they're
Yeah.
less stressful because we have this time period.
Right.
And also too, it's you know, I don't have to change up other portions of my diet, I feel. I'm getting my protein in through food mostly. I'm getting in vegetables. Rice is typically a side. Um, so like my diet is mostly clean. I think the worst meal of my week is my Sunday morning breakfast with my dad.
Or that's
Because yeah, because like it's usually I'll get like an omelet, but sometimes it's just eggs and like a piece of toast.
yeah.
I won't lie, I have had pancakes with it during this cut, but also
I forgive you.
it's fine. Well, it was one of those like I had them and I was like, yeah, I'm just skipping lunch now.
Sure. Well, okay, that's a way to
Yeah,
compensate.
it worked because yeah, it
Yeah.
worked out okay because like they kept me full.
Yeah. So I guess what we should talk about is because all of us have very different approaches to cutting. Like literally
Mhm.
all the five people we have in the group have very different. I mean, some bottom line, they're all the same way to cut, right? But I think let's talk about what are we doing? What are you and I doing? And why is it? How is that leading us to the same goal?
Gotcha. Would you like me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'd say my first goal of mine was making sure that like say, all right, what was my first what were my biggest offenders to go against this?
Hmm.
One is the casual beer too often. Because like that's just empty calories. And then like I said, I have a sweet tooth.
Hmm.
So I started with the sugar first because like I said, coming off the holidays. So narrowing down not eating those sweets. Like and really that was as simple as not keeping them in the house.
Right.
So starting with that, so it wasn't changing other parts of the diet, just things like that. And then, do you want to go back and forth like points, or should I just lay out everything that I kind of have in my mind?
Well, everything I think. Yeah. So cutting down sweets is a great one.
Hmm. Then the second one after that was like I said, all right, what's my other biggest offender for just empty, useless calories? Having a casual beer with friends in the evening. In the Warhammer space, it's pretty typical that that's something that we do.
Hmm.
We're not alcoholics, but like we're not out getting drunk left and right. But
Sure.
it's easy to have a beer during a game. It's easy to have a
Right.
beer while chatting Warhammer on a podcast. Um,
Yes.
so switching things up, like having water next to me more often, like having more seltzer water, I guess.
Hmm.
Just so like if I have the need to have a drink in my hand, I can have that instead. And then like I said, working towards limiting myself. That if I'm barring like screwing up every once in a while, which will just happen, is if I'm going to have a drink on this day, like club night,
Hmm.
just try and have two, just two. Just
Hmm.
stop right there, because like I can work within those bounds. I can plan ahead during my day with that too. Like okay, I'm gonna fast a couple extra hours today, have a lighter lunch because I know I have a heavier meal that day, and I might have a beer or two. Those are the
Yeah.
two main key points. Other than that, honestly, it's like being mindful for me. Like I said, I'm not counting calories. I'm just seeing how this goes for this first like month, and then like I'll tighten up if I need to. But being mindful
Yeah.
of like, okay, it's 10 p.m. and I'm just hungry because I'm eating less. I worked out today.
Hmm.
Um, and just stopping and going like, okay, am I actually hungry? Like, how hungry am I? Like,
Sure.
is this enough that it's gonna keep me up at night? Or is
Yeah.
this just my body says it's hungry because it thinks it's hungry? And
Right.
most times I can just ignore it, have some water, brush my teeth, fine, go to bed. But if I'm
Yeah.
not able to, and if I'm like, no, my stomach's growling,
Sure.
keeping protein bars in the house, I'll eat like half of one, which is like maybe 200 calories at most.
Yeah.
And then
That's
that's it. Like if I'm going to have something on my stomach before bed, just some protein. That's it, period. Well, I guess protein bar is some other stuff, but like,
like a little bit of carbs, a little bit of fat, a little bit of fiber, but it's mostly protein.
yeah, but like a high protein thing as a snack if I need
Hmm.
one. And that's kind of like my three pillars that I'm working on right now to see how that gets me through. Like I said, well, I guess we're almost through the first couple weeks already.
Three
So
3 weeks down almost. Yeah.
yeah, but going to bed hungry has been. I forgot what that was like because I haven't done that in a while. So I'm like, whatever, I'm maintaining.
Yeah. And the funny thing, you wake up in the morning. I've been doing the similar thing if I'm, going to bed and like just, and I've ate maybe at 8 or 9, and it's now 11, and I'm still a little hungry. Just go to bed, and you
Yeah,
wake up and you're fine.
you brush your teeth all of a sudden, like you're like, I'm good, whatever. Like you get that
Yeah.
mental habit.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. Yeah.
also, I'm keeping more yogurt in the house.
Okay. Yeah.
Just for like that protein style snack. Cause I'll mix it with it's unflavored protein yogurt mixed with protein powder.
Hmm. Yeah. Love that. So just to reiterate, just for
Yep.
the listeners, so you're cutting down on sweets, you're
Mm-hmm.
cutting down on casual beers, and choosing more calorie-free beverages. You're limiting alcohol in general to two per day max, if you do have it. You fast if you know you are going to have a bigger meal or eat lighter earlier in the day. You are being more mindful overall, and you are keeping more healthier, higher protein options in the house.
Yes. That's
It's
why you're a
awesome.
professional, Alex. You took my ramble and made it facts.
That's right. That's right.
What
All
about
right.
you? Because you're a little more science based. You're a little bit deeper on this.
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
so what if you changed up? Because it might be a lot more, or it might be even simpler. Because I mean, it really is just calories in,
Yeah.
calories out. We know that.
So I actually want to touch on that first. Bottom line, whatever you do, as long as you're staying in the calorie deficit, getting enough protein, and focusing on maintaining muscles, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right? We're just going to talk primarily about the nutrition part, but if you're resistance training, getting good sleep, good hydration, managing stress, and your nutrition is covered, you'll be fine. Whatever way you do it, as long as it's sustainable for you, great,
Mm-hmm.
right? Uh, so what Chuck does is hopefully going to work for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to adjust here soon if needed. And what I'm doing, a lot of times I'd recommend, and both Chuck and I have done this before, for beginners to actually track their intake,
Yes.
right? Not for everybody. I've seen plenty of people not track and see good results sustainably. But for most people, it does two things. Number one, it gets you more precise, right? So you actually know how many calories you need to lose of fat, but also it helps you to learn about food.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I remember too, like when I first did it so long ago, um, just realizing like, oh, this is how many calories are in an egg. This is how many calories are in a beer. This is how many calories are in a chicken breast. Then like just learning this and like, oh, I can eat as much salad as I want if I don't put crap on it.
Yep.
Like, yeah, it's remarkable. And like I said, I did it. Like I said, I did it too. I don't. I'm usually more of anymore. Um, what's intuitive, I guess, on the
Sure.
eating,
Intuitive.
which is how I'm attacking this end of things too, because I've
Mhm.
maintained. Because like I can look at a plate and go, it's that many calories.
Sure.
So also to
Yeah.
look at like if you're a sweet tooth like me, look at your look at your sweets. Look at your
Absolutely.
sweets, because like that way you can look at that piece of cake and be like, that's 500 fucking calories. Holy shit!
Right.
Like
Right.
you
Or
don't
two
realize because like you eat it in two
should be like
seconds.
1,000.
Yeah, could be.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, to your point, intuitive eating is where we are right now, and that's what we're doing for this cut, at least initially, like
Yeah.
until we need to adjust if we need to. Uh, but in order to
But
intuitive eat, you probably wanted to track at some point, because to be able to eat intuitively, you have to understand food. It's like
yes.
intuitive lifting. If you've never lifted before, you have no idea what intuitive lifting is,
Yeah.
right? You can't just show up and create a balanced day for yourself because you never went through any programs. Um,
What's the same thing? Like you and I are experienced lifting. If I gave you 400 pounds, or if I gave you 4 pounds, I'd be like, Alex, I need you to lift this in a way that will make it burn. You have 10 reps. You can
right,
figure it out because you know how
right,
to. You know, it's the same thing with
right.
the food. It's really fascinating how it works as you progress.
Yeah. So bottom line, got to be in a calorie deficit, right?
Yes.
Hopefully get enough protein, and then all other things that are not nutrition related. And then micros, vegetables, fruits are a good idea. We can talk about this forever, but generally calorie deficit, enough protein. So what I'm doing for that is number one, I'm fasting in the morning.
Yep.
Just simple as that. And it sucked the first week, maybe week and a half, and ever since I'm adapted,
Yeah.
right?
Like, what are you fasting to? Because like I usually stop eating around yeah, the latest I'd ever do like my little protein midnight snack is 10 p.m. So I'm usually done eating around 9 for like any sort of
Sure.
like calorie ingesting. And I usually don't I usually go till at least 10:30, sometimes 11. So what's yours looking like? Do you go strong
Yeah.
longer?
So I actually, the way I fast, I just skip breakfast basically, right?
Okay,
I
so you don't
skip
really
breakfast.
worry about a cutoff at night.
Not really. I try to use the common sense of like, hey, don't eat right before bedtime,
Oh yeah.
just primarily for the quality of sleep, like about an hour, 2 hours before. But if I'm hungry, especially sometimes I work out late and I come home and I'm going to bed in half an hour, like if that happens, I'm going to eat something.
Yeah.
But primarily I'm fasting in the morning,
Okay.
right? So whatever time I wake up, I don't eat till lunchtime. If I'm really hungry, like maybe I didn't have, like maybe today, I didn't really eat that late yesterday, I might have a protein shake,
Oh, sure, yeah.
right? And we're not talking about any fasting BS that just fasting itself somehow burns magical calories or does anything magical. All you're doing is you're shortening your calorie eating window.
Right, cuz you can only eat so much in a certain time period typically.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're cutting out a meal is what kind of what you're
That's
doing.
That's the only way fasting works for weight loss,
Yeah,
right?
by making
It's
you
not
eat less calories.
letting you eat less calories. That's if you want to argue with science, you can, but that's exactly how it
If you want
works.
to, argue in the comments, and I will delete them. No, I won't. I won't delete them. I'll just ignore them.
I
Like,
don't need to. We'll just look at them and laugh.
yeah, you're fine.
But anyway, fasting is a great tool if you can do it in a healthy way.
Yes. Mhm.
So fasting in the morning. The other thing I'm doing is I made myself a list of foods that are generally healthy foods, and I stick to that list between 90 to 98% of the time. Right? So I can go outside of that list, but primarily I'm sticking to that list, and it's pretty flexible. It's like a whole page of foods. Give you some examples. There's things like lean meats and poultry and fish, eggs and egg whites, low-fat dairy, all vegetables, all fruits,
Mhm.
lentils, beans, peas, certain carbs, protein products, tea, coffee, water, etc. But it's a very flexible enough list that gives me options, but it's also I'm sticking to it most of the time. So you have a small amount of I don't know. I had like chicken nuggets yesterday, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah.
But I had a very small amount relative to the way I ate the whole week,
Right.
right? Uh, and that's really the main thing I'm doing. And like you said, being mindful, just understanding that overall I'm not eating significantly past fullness in general, right? I'm not
Yes.
trying to be stuffed. I want to take my time eating. No, like you said, if I am not super hungry and maybe I had dinner at 7, I'm going to bed at 10. Just go to bed,
Yeah.
right? Things of that nature are very helpful. Another thing I already did start doing is just because you got to be in a calorie deficit to lose fat, lose weight in general. We're
Right.
trying to lose
Right.
fat.
Yep.
You can do so through nutrition. You could also add a little bit through exercise.
Yeah. Burn it. Burn an extra couple hundred calories that you're not
Exactly.
eating to make up. Yep.
Exactly, exactly. So to do so, you can do anything you want. You can just be active, do sports, go on hikes. Lately, I've been just doing a bit more cardio than I usually would.
Yeah. Snow shoveling's bonus cardio.
That's true. Exactly, exactly.
That's
So that's
probably
what
that's
I.
probably like an extra 50 calories
Yeah,
throughout the
yeah,
day.
yeah. Um, just to touch on cardio, cardio is a great tool. Um, but keep in mind, the longer you do the same cardio, the same intensity, the more your body adapts, and the less calories it will burn.
Yeah.
You
So
will
like,
definitely
do a treadmill or a track if it's warm for
have less.
you. Then do a rowing machine. Honestly, you want some good cardio real quickly? Just start doing air squats and push-ups or burpees.
Sure. Yeah,
Just, I mean, I guess burpees are just kind of all of it, but yeah, just do burpees. Your heart
yeah.
rate will jump up. Like Steve, I know you're listening. I know you do CrossFit still. Um, Let us know in the comment down below if you're willing to. How fast, how many burpees it takes for your heart rate to elevate to it feels like you're running.
Right.
I bet it's like it's less than 20.
Right, exactly. So, do different modalities of cardio if you can. Don't overcomplicate this, but cardio is a helpful tool in addition to burn a little bit of calories.
Well, I think also what's kind of helpful is timing worked out. This wasn't the plan, but my wife wanted to start doing a little bit more resistance training.
Mhm. Oh,
I
yeah, yeah.
mentioned about it. She does. She's dragging. Oh, sure. She's dragging me into more cardio, which is fine. So I needed it to make sure my heart health is everything's fine. Um, but she wanted me to do some resistance training with her. So
Mhm.
she's not going to be doing any barbell stuff. That's just not what she's about. At least not yet. Maybe one day she'll be like,
Hey,
I told him like, listen, you want to be my own personal muscle mommy? This would be great. um, but she is wanting to do the bodybuilding machines. Um, so it's like, okay, so we were doing that once a week before this cut began, but now that we're on the cut, to keep it interesting for myself, keep it new and exciting, and make me just break out of that bench deadlift squat routine I've been in for over a year, probably 2 years now. Um, Her and I are working out twice a week. So Monday, I think I have to check. I think ours might be closed, so we're gonna go tomorrow instead.
hmm,
But Wednesday is usually cardio day. Monday is typically the upper,
okay,
and Friday is the lower.
cool. Yeah, sure.
So it's like, and it's fun, and there's enough machines there too, where it's just like, okay, so we'll do the quad extensions, we'll do we'll do all that stuff. I'm like, you know what? Let's do Bulgarian split squats because
Whoa, she's doing that with you.
she hasn't done that yet.
Okay, okay,
But
okay.
like
I'm
but
like
like
that.
like I like that's in my head like, oh, that's taken, but I'll she doesn't like the pendulum squat, but she likes the leg press.
Okay, yeah, that person's great.
So typically she'll go in the leg press and I'll go in the pendulum squat to start out
Oh,
our workout. Most also because she's putting on at most two 45-pound plates on that.
it's easy. Yeah, right,
Whereas
right, right.
like me, like I have like six in each side, and like it's such a pain.
Leg press is one of those things. If you work out with somebody else, ideally you're looking for somebody with a similar strength because you could literally be putting on like removing 4 plates from each side every set.
Well, yeah, well we did leg press once because it was just the only option. We did it together,
Right,
and it was you do yours first, and then I do mine.
right.
Um,
Right.
but anyway, that's getting off topic. But yeah, but like doing something new and interesting for like my exercise routine is taking my mind off the fact that I'm eating less because I'm like, oh yeah, let's go to the gym. Let's do this. Like, hey, you know what? Instead of just so we want to work back. Instead of what's the
A rear delt
rear delt?
cable.
Yeah, thank you. I was like, let's do rows.
Sure.
So like we're like it's fun to mix things up. It's like okay, I'm not so stressed about I need to hit we're hitting every muscle group, but I'm like okay, we're gonna focus on the back. Let's do something for the back, chest, something for the
Sure.
chest.
Sure.
Sometimes, you know, and then occasionally Tuesdays, Thursdays, I might do a little bit of benching at home
Yeah, because you have it.
because I have it. I
Yeah.
mean, boy, I've been tempted to do a deadlift at home session. I miss it. I miss
You
deadlifting.
could. You could. Why not?
Anyway, sorry.
That's the only thing is with cutting because in general, uh, it's much you have to be much smarter about programming, at least in my experience. And like it's just hard to do barbell movements lately, right? It's just more challenging. I still do some. I still do benching and some free weight work, but it's much nicer to do more machine work because it's just easier when you have
It's yeah, it's
energy.
less thinking. It's less yeah. Like I don't have to ever amp myself up to do a max out on my quad extensions like I do
Oh,
for a squat.
exactly, exactly. So if I am doing some barbell or dumbbell, just free weight movement, typically I'm doing in the beginning of the workout, and then closer to the end, I do even if it's heavy, do machine work.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. How are you faring with it so far? Because it's been I guess not quite 3 weeks because we started after Tarathi.
Yeah.
So it's been closer to 2 weeks. What kind of results? What kind of progress are you seeing?
Uh progress? I mean like I'm sitting down I'm like I'm hovering closer to like I guess to that 212 and 215 I guess on regular days after like my morning bathroom and all that sort of stuff. But like I'm not stressed about it because like I said right now it's been getting used to just that feeling of hunger again. But that's also kind of reminded me of something that like I haven't really had in a like since I was doing CrossFit years ago of like oh yeah I forgot like suffering needs to be your friend of in a way for this sort of
Yeah,
stuff. Like it
yeah,
needs to be my companion because then it's not suffering anymore and it's just like oh yeah like it's
like
kind
a
of like
discipline.
yeah it's helping rediscipline other parts too,
Hmm.
which has been kind of nice. So that's been the biggest thing is the mentality state has not been affected and it's actually making me go oh yeah I haven't really been being as disciplined in a lot of ways even though I'm probably more disciplined than I ever was in my life before. I'm like I could still get a little bit better and still be more disciplined in certain things.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. And I think the mentality with it is I'm choosing to do this. I'm not like suffering through it.
Right. Well, it's like hunger. Like, okay, I'm gonna be hungry, but like I know what hunger feels like. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
dying.
and
I'm good.
exactly. And the reality is we're not starving. This
No.
is just mild hunger because we are soft, if I'm honest, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's not to say you should be like messing around and getting eating disorder, but the reality is like true hunger probably doesn't kick in to like,
I yeah,
what?
I'm very blessed that I've probably never known true hunger in my life,
Yeah,
ever in my life.
exactly.
Like
Exactly. Yeah,
I'm right now, I'm slightly hungry after I just finished my first cup of morning coffee. Like really, like life's not bad.
right. Exactly.
Anyway, how about you? How about you? What how's your results been so far? Like
Sure. So I,
are you checking the like I'm still not checking the um scale every day. I'm not doing
sure.
that. But what about you?
So I kind of cheated because I started a little bit earlier.
Sure.
I started before Tyrafi, probably about 2 weeks before. So for me, it's actually been about a month, if not longer than a month.
Okay.
Um, and I started closer to maintenance, just like because I was going for bulking, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm gonna focus. I'm gonna move into maintenance, and then I'm gonna start cutting.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair and smart. Yeah.
Right. Because I didn't want it to be so drastic.
Especially after like start after Terathi or like a weekend of just delicious food and like cigars and drinks with
Right,
your friends, like the two,
right,
like you overdo it then underdo it, like, oh, that'd be rough.
right. So Tarathi was closer to maintenance for me,
Okay,
and then,
yeah,
but it was only about 3 4 days, right?
sure.
So I already have started seeing some progress. The I do weigh myself maybe 2 times a week, I would say,
Oh,
right now.
all right, yeah, that's fair.
Um, and I'm not. That's only one marker of progress, right? Like if I'm getting really weak and losing muscle and losing weight, who cares, right? Like it's not what we're trying to do.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I am walking weight about 5 to 6 pounds down.
Nice.
Um,
Okay.
right. So, and then dry weight, I'm the lowest I've been was what about in the 194,
Okay.
right? So making good progress, but keep in mind, as always, in the beginning, you're going to lose a lot of water weight. So I'm recognizing that there has been some fat loss, but a lot of that is just water weight from glycogen.
Yeah, exactly. I guess like yeah, if you went back to maintenance, it'd just come right back on very quickly.
Exactly. Yeah, in 2 weeks, I could be back to walking weight 205.
That's good. That's good. I mean, like, yeah. Listen, I'm sad to see that you're going back down to victim weight, but it is what it is.
It's sad. It's a little sad. It's a little sad. I feel like now if I weigh myself like with clothes on after having a meal, I'm still about 201,
With a couple 2.5s in your pocket.
202. Yeah, put some rocks in there. But other than that, yeah, it's going to be interesting because my goal eventually, and this is a big picture goal, is be at a 200 plus, but at a comfortable muscle to fat ratio, right?
Yeah,
Comfortable body fat percentage. Because this bulk, I got to 205 walking weight, but I wasn't quite comfortable with how the little bit of body fat percentage that I gained,
sure. Yeah.
right? Despite getting a lot of muscle, but so
Well, yeah, yeah,
eventually,
and
200
keep
plus.
that in mind too. Like that, what Alex just said there. That's a very personal thing that you need to recognize.
Yeah,
Like I recognize I have more body fat that I could lose. That doesn't mean I'm not comfortable with it. Like I walk
exactly.
around very comfortably with it. Like it doesn't bother me. I don't look fat. I don't feel fat. It's just like I feel fat sometimes if I'm like being really lazy about it or like I
Yeah,
overeat. But like it's like you need to find out where that is for you, and it doesn't mean that you still can't continue to tweak it. Because like I won't be
right.
upset if I drop some of this body fat and then put on like another pound of muscle or 2 pounds of muscle in the
Mhm.
next year. Like that would be great. Like it's great.
Yeah. But you're confident where you are right now,
Right.
and
But it's fun to push and change because it makes the body go. You got to remind the body that I'm in control.
right. Yeah, and that's exactly the mentality that I'm having with this is like I'm very glad and happy with the progress I've made, right? But at the same time, I'm not going to stop here. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah,
love it.
good.
Well, if you're interested in doing a cut, make sure you reach out to Alex over on his Instagram, which is yeah, we got a new template up, Alex. By the way, I switched it between recording with you and recording with Neil because there was a delay.
Sure.
But his Instagram's there. It's also his name on his screen here, but fit_hammer in case you're listening. There's audio listeners. Go talk to him. He can help you with an actual cut in a nutritionist level as opposed to just us talking about how we're doing it now. Like he'll get deep and science based with you.
I will get deep with you.
Yes, yes. You just gotta give him money. He'll only go deep when he no. I mean, yeah, technically you gotta hire him, but
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's my job.
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess with that out of the way, it's only one last thing to talk about.
What is it?
Not kidding. There's two.
Okay, yeah, I thought there was two.
There's two. Um, we'll end with the usual, but I have to ask because even though you've strayed, you are a fellow high elf. You are a member of the Azure,
Right.
and we recorded before the reveals at LVO. Of course, Neil and I
Mhm.
recorded after, and I recorded my own thoughts, and I'm over the fucking moon. Yeah, you're 34 minutes in. I'm allowed to swear now. Thanks, algorithm. Um, how do you feel about these high elves coming out? Like the return of the high elves. You got the Arcane Journal, a couple new
Mhm.
characters, a retooled kit, a redone kit. There's like I was kind of blown away with how much is actually coming. Plus the stuff coming back that I just been waiting for.
Sure. Sure.
Where's your mind at with it?
Right. I am conflicted.
Right,
Here's
you
why.
haven't really touched high elves out. The last time you touched high elves was the original Square Base GT that you and I went to last
Yeah.
November. No, two
Right.
Novembers ago now. up
Right.
up at
Yeah.
Mini
Yeah.
Wargaming. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
run by Val Heffelfinger.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Rob was there. I don't know if he was running it. And then we had the Falcon as the TO. It was such a great event. That was oh man, could it be one of my favorite events ever? Could be. Anyway,
It was really fun. It was a really good time. Uh, but number one, I'm excited that they're getting Arcane Journal, and I'm excited to play them. So I do
okay.
have square adapters. I have the tray square adapters and everything. So I am going to play them. Uh, number two, so I'm excited about that. I'm also excited about a new character,
Yep.
new characters, two new characters,
Well, no, just well, there there's
new
one
sculpts.
new named character, and there's one
Right.
other sculpt. So I'm not sure if we're getting another. Well, technically Core Hill's in there, but usually we're getting 3 named characters per Arcane Journal.
Hmm.
So we only have 2 right now that's been
Right.
stated.
Right.
Core Hill
Right.
and that new Vess.
Yeah.
Granted, unless that Charcian general guy is a pseudo character, which could be. I don't
Right.
know.
So what I meant is we got two new hero models.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm excited about that. So those are two things I'm excited about. The thing I'm not excited about is the fact that the model they decided to redo was Lyrian Reavers. I thought they were fine. I thought Illyrian Reavers looked good. When I first saw the redone model, I was like, oh, it's the old Illyrian Reavers because they look so similar to me, if
Okay,
I'm honest. It's cool. I don't know if I'm going to buy them because I already have. Maybe I will because they do look good.
I'm
They
buying them.
do look fine.
I have 30. I
Right.
have 30 Illyrian Reavers on mixed on old bases, new bases. I'm buying those because it's my.
Right.
I love
I might
Illyrian.
buy them. I might buy them if that's the only new kit they do, which might be the only new kit they do. So they're cool. They're cool. But it's Lyrian Reavers, right?
Yeah,
Why couldn't would they done new Dragon Princes, which are
Dragon
almost
Prince
all.
is amazing. To be fair, I am kind of I can explain why. I know why they're doing Illyrian Reavers just from
Mhm.
guessing. I'm with you. They should have redone Silver Helms if they were going to redo anything.
Silver Helms, yes, Silver
Silver Helms are a
Helms,
little rough right now.
or Archers, or some of the older sculpts that they do look
So
old.
you need to remember. So Swordmasters they retooled a command squad,
Yes,
which
I
is
saw
cool.
that.
There's
Mhm,
Illyrian Reavers, which is a redone off the old sculpt.
mhm,
So new thing. And then there's Seaguard, which don't
mhm,
look retooled at all. They look just modern paint job.
mhm.
That was the Isle of Blood.
Right,
What's still missing from the Isle of Blood?
Griffin.
The Griffin.
Hero. Mhm,
Because I don't know how much you remember. I had so many of these, especially during Sigmar when people got mad. Um, a lot of those sprues also had Skaven stuff on them. So they've had to
mm.
retool a lot of like they had to
Oh,
retool the sword masters. That's why there's just another command to probably fill it out. Alarian Reavers, I'm pretty sure those were heavily mixed in with Skaven, so it was
mhm.
probably an easier option to just redo the sculpts
Okay,
in a very similar fashion. Uh, and thankfully, the Seaguard, I think they were their own sprue. Like it was like there's a split, so they could. That
sure,
was pretty stock standard. And
sure.
I'm the Reaver or the Griffin 2 was also completely surrounded by Skaven
Right,
bits.
which is a shame because it's such a cool model.
I don't know if it won't ever come back.
Yeah,
I bet
maybe.
they'll find a way for it, but it's like it might be time. They might be retooling it. They might just be resculpting it. The
Yeah.
Isle of Blood, it, being the fact that like it's so stupid whenever they mix. Like if you're gonna do a box set with 2 things, just keep it all in separate sprues. GW
Right.
makes your life easier. You know this. Um,
Yeah.
but that's probably why we have new Illyrian Reavers. Not
Right.
because it's
That
maybe what they chose to do, but it's what they had to do to get them out.
Right. That makes sense. That makes sense now that you explain it that way. So I feel a little bit less bad about it.
Yeah.
Still, I'm just not that excited about them. They're cool. They're really cool. But I would be more excited about, like you said, Silver Helms or new Spearmen. Like I'd be like, I'm gonna buy a whole new unit of those, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, like spearmen and archers, who uses them? Like I've used archers on occasion, but
Yeah.
spearmen, I'll just take like in this new infantry is
Sure.
already kind of
Sure.
rough. I'd rather
Sure.
take more useful infantry
Yeah.
right now.
I guess you would see more Linear Reavers on the table.
Well, you get more Legion Reavers because they're good chaff. You're gonna see more Sea Guard than I think you'll see Spearmen,
Mm.
especially with the new Sea Guard army that we're getting.
Right. 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 Yeah. Yeah, so that's where I'm at, and the kits. As far as getting the kits, I might get some of the kits I didn't have a chance to get at
Sure.
the end of 8th edition. Like I don't have the Shadow Warriors, right? And um, some of the other kits. I might get them since they're available now. So that could be cool.
There you
Might
go.
fill out the a
There
bit
you go.
more again.
All right, Alex has officially. I mean, it's finally. This solidifies it. He's a member of the High Elf Society, but he's clearly moved on to Gits.
Oh yeah.
He's
Oh yeah.
all green. He's
Yeah.
not.
Yes. Big time.
That's fine. I was.
And they're also going to have a always going to have a special place in my heart because they were the first army I had completed. They were not
Nice.
technically my first army.
Sure.
That was orcs and goblins, which is
Fair.
funny enough why my love for goblins is so high. Um, but my first completed army was high elves, so they're always going to have. I'm never going to sell them. I'm always going to
Oh
play
yeah.
them here and there. But yeah, so I'm overall big picture excited. I wish we got more new shiny things. Now, we'll see what all is released. What I've been really loving is seeing that other armies had some of their old kits released before pre-8th edition kits.
Yes, I'm hoping for some of that too.
If we get the old dragons, like the old metal dragons, getting those suckers for sure.
Oh, see, I like the new dragon so much.
Yeah, yeah, but I never had a chance to get the old dragon.
Okay, we could. I'm sure there'll be a made to order.
Right.
I'm excited to see the made to order too. I have a lot of the old stuff already, but like that, I don't have everything. So there's probably gonna be something like, "Ooh, I want that. I don't have that." So I'm with you there.
That's what I'm most excited about is seeing what old kits they pull out that I never even had a chance to look at before.
Yes, I'm hoping that there's like one that they pull out that I go, I've never seen that.
Right.
Never seen that. Technically I have a few old metal spearmen, but I'm curious what their command looked like if they had a metal command, which they probably did. But anyway,
Yeah,
okay.
that'd be cool.
So
That'd be
Alex is looking forward to it. Neil is excited, and I am fanboying out. So
Right.
that's your tier level. So there's a nice balance across the podcast.
Yeah. Oh, good.
All right, good. I'm excited. Like I said, and to be fair, everybody, stay tuned to the Strength Hammer channel because anytime they mention anything with high elves, I'm gonna be insufferable, and just talk about it on a video right away, probably.
It is funny that 3 of the hosts are all high elf nerds.
I think. Well, honestly, high elves are just. I think they're more iconic than Empire Man.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Empire Man just looks like it's just German dudes. They're like it
Oh, I see
feels
what you mean.
Warhammer, but like
I
I see
see what
high
you mean.
elves, I'm like that is Warhammer. I don't know how to explain it other than
Right.
I feel
The
that they're
blue
just
and
more
white color
iconic.
scheme, the shining, glittering hosts. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair.
Well, anyway, I could be here all day talking high elves. I gotta be mindful of Alex's existence of life. But so how's your hobby? That's the last thing we need to talk about today.
Sure. Hobby's been good. I got slow, a little bit slow.
Well, I do want to shout out. You did up a nice little Instagram post recently about painting your army in 4 days.
Good, yeah.
And I honestly thought, as I was swiping through it, in the middle of it was going to be like the whole lay down and cry thing. I thought you were going to joke on yourself, but no, it's just like, here's how I did it.
Yep.
So
I
it was
already
really
made
nice.
a post that like how to paint an army in 4 days, and the next slide was like, no, seriously, how? Like hell.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, but then I made a proper one. As far as the hobby lately, we just checked in last Thursday, so it's only been 3 days.
Yeah.
So, since then, I only got a couple things done. I'm reading Godric and Felix.
Nice. The
First,
first omnibus.
Yep. So there is 3 of the books in here, and then a bunch of short stories.
Have you started it yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm so fascinated to know when you finish the first book because the first book reads as a journal, and then it becomes more prose. Like in the next couple, like it becomes more story oriented to what you're used to of reading, but like it's very fascinating.
Right. Because I'm all caught up. I never read this when I was playing fantasy, but I'm all caught up on Gotrik's adventures in the old war in the my goodness,
Age of Sigmar,
Mortal Realms. Yeah, Age of Sigmar, which is very interesting. But he's a very different character in the Mortal Realms, especially who he's shaping to be. Like he's evolving.
Yeah.
In a manner.
Which is good. It's good character development.
Yeah. You don't want to have a stagnant character. So I'm interested to see his almost like his backstory, right?
Well, it's good. You're gonna encounter. There's gonna be one story where he's with Teclis. They hit the high notes. It's good. It's my favorite book series. That's good. I'm glad you're reading it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I've been on an old world kick. I'm like I'm already through 2 or 3 old world books, so I'm interested to read more old world stuff.
You won't once you get going. You're gonna be halfway through that omnibus and buy the next one. I
Yeah.
guarantee it. You're not gonna want to stop.
There's like 10 or 15 omnibuses, and each one has like 3 books, so it's
Yeah,
crazy.
I think I have them all as individual books because like I'm still buying them when they were kind of not coming out, but they were readily available in that
Available.
fashion.
It's really hard to find individual books, and like some of them,
Yes.
I was really hoping to collect them individually. I actually started. I got the Demon Slayer, and I was like looking for other ones. Boy, some of them are like $150 a book.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
Well, it's even funny because the ones I have in omnibus fashion are the old versions. Like you have the nice
mhm.
new pretty covers.
Right. Yeah. So, and the new omnibus covers, because this is 2024.
Yeah,
The new omnibus covers are very pretty. So I do like that.
it's gorgeous, gorgeous.
Uh,
I have some of the jank art from like the '80s. That's
yeah,
what
which
mine
is
is. It's
cool.
cool. It's
That's a
cool. It's cool.
I love that too. And then the only other thing is I cleaned the mold lines, assembled, and spray painted this
Ooh.
bad boy.
Yeah, I saw that in your background. Is that like a D&D model? Is that a live dragon, dead dragon? Like what's going on with it?
It's a live dragon. I
Okay.
think it's for D&D. It's actually from a Reaper, but it's a
Oh,
really,
okay.
really beautiful
It
quality
is.
mod. And it's pretty big. Like if you a regular goblin would be like this size, right?
So
So it's
what's the
very
plan with him?
normal. It's a gift for a friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a friend who is a miniature painter. He's big into D&D. He loves dragons. He has like a bunch of like 4 or 5 D&D dragons, but their scale is like this
Yeah.
comparatively, right? So I think he's gonna be pretty excited.
What color?
I don't know what he's gonna paint it.
Oh,
So
you just built it and primed it for him.
oh yeah, it's just a gift for him.
Oh, okay.
But
Sorry. I
he
thought you were
likes
painting for him too.
he likes painting, so I'm interested to see what he does with it. But
Okay.
it's
Okay.
gonna be a gift for him.
Nice. Since we're probably recording a few days before I talk to Neil to get this out of the way, I'll go over my hobby too while
Ooh,
we're at
that's
it.
a treat for me.
Yeah. So like I said, I mentioned I think before in last show, like I'm still also going through the books. I got all the Malice Darkblade books now.
Mhm.
I'm getting the End Time novels. I have them all bought. I have two in hand, the first two, um, and the third one's coming. It says like by March. I don't know why, but sure,
Wow.
whatever.
Yeah,
I have
you
no
have
idea
time.
why. Yeah. But like yeah, like buying up all these old Warhammer books too that I always wanted. Um, Going to be reading the Malice Darkblade first. I'm still finishing Double Eagle by Dan Amnett. That's been the slowest book read of my life. Shout out to Brandon who was making fun of me right now, literally. Uh,
Is it just a slow book? Like, why is it taking so long?
no, it's just I've I get into modes where like I fall out of reading, so it's like I need to
Hmm.
get back into the habit of reading.
Sure.
And like work's been
Really?
busier and with everything and like just hanging out with the wife, it's just like I'm not
Yeah.
sitting down like just read a chapter a night. Like today I'll probably jumpstart and like read 2 chapters. Like it's a good book. It's really well written. Um but yeah, it's just like I'm lazy.
Fair.
Other than that, first hobby, like did I think I talked about, yeah, I talked about everything I finished last week. Um I have finally decided to start building my lizardman army. Woo!
Ooh. I'm happy you went with those and not
The vote
KO. Not KO. What's that?
Votan.
Votan. I was gonna say
Yeah, well,
KO.
the more I looked at it, I'm like, the Votan would be quicker, get him out of the way, but also like they're in a nice little box, whereas the lizardmen were like stacked up like in sprues. I'm like, just start the lizardmen because like I planned this whole weekend. I was like, I can get this whole army built, and normally I could. I don't think anyone would doubt me on that. You should have. I've been getting distracted with home projects,
Sure.
um, and then just like just everything. So behind me right now is the cavalry all cut out. Um, the mounts are all on bases, and I just gotta clean and put the cavalry together. So that's gonna be done today for sure. And I think if I could build one of like the Carnosaur or the Troglodon, if I can get that done today, I'll feel happy. And that's about half of the army. Because then it's just infantry after that, and I'll knock that
Yes.
out throughout the week, hopefully. But um,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm excited to start that. No idea what the paint scheme's gonna be, but I have no reason to
That's
rush
a good
it.
question. Yeah. What are you gonna go with classic or do something more fun and unique?
So I've been watching like lore videos because I know a little bit about the lizardmen, but I don't know a deep amount. I'm thinking of doing the blue with like the red stripe down the back, which that's more of a classic feel.
Mhm.
Might do goblin green bases even just for fun. Like I'll
Sure.
put some rocks and stuff on it, but
Right.
um, yeah, I don't know yet. Like I said, I'm not rushing it. Because also I have on the way it shipped, I picked up. I have a small Iron Jaws army.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah,
do.
for
I
Path
forgot
to
about
Glory. Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So I picked up the terrain piece, even though I hate them, and the endless spells, even though I hate. Okay, I don't hate that terrain piece. I don't hate those endless spells. I hate their existence as a thing in the game.
And you
Um,
have to use them.
but I have them, have the army, so I will buy those. I didn't buy the,
Right.
I didn't buy the army book. I'm like, I don't care.
By
But
the time you play them again, you're probably going to need a new army book anyway.
probably. But those will come in. They'll probably jump up immediately, and like I'll be like, okay, let me just paint these up real quick. So, and
Good.
also I picked up that new dwarf, not new dwarf, the Burluxon, the dwarf engineer named character.
Oh
Yeah, they
yeah.
released some name characters for Old World recently, so grab that as well.
Hmm,
And
fun.
also, one last thing, I am planning a kit bash for Terathi, and it's so funny. I talked to Neil about this, but I'm talking to you about it. So, right about an hour before the reveals, I was not expecting new Illyrian Reavers.
Okay.
I was like, my army is usually based from Illyrian. Terathi in the lore is Illyrian.
Okay.
I have her on foot.
Hmm.
I need to make a mounted version of her.
Okay.
So, that's fine. That's fair, right?
Yeah.
So I went on eBay, and for like $10, someone down in Texas had one. It was just the old Illyrian Reaver model,
Mhm.
and it was, $10 shipped. I'm like, okay, buy. And then it's like, I just need to buy the Lumineth model I used to kit bash the top half, and I have an
Mhm.
extra head. So I'm like, okay, so I'll do a nice little kit bash of her with that because I want her to, even if I run her as like a full barded, she'll be on an Illyrian mount because she's from Illyria.
Right. Right.
So that's on the way.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
So that's, like,
but
I guess you'd
but
be more excited for.
but
Yes.
do I just wait for the new Illyrian models to come out because I can probably kit bash better than a push fit model?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure,
I
for
know
sure.
it's like so
Like,
frustrating,
I don't know, just put it on the new model for sure.
but they'll
Because I
be
think they look more customizable. Because all the Ray rivers are just very static.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
still, in my opinion, they're still very cool.
yeah. Because
But
I'll probably just take that guy and just put him in with that unit to replace the bits I steal out of
right,
it.
right.
So yeah,
Hmm.
that's what I got cooking on my plate right now. Nothing much. We'll see if I don't just sell this Votan for cheap.
You are very Votan, like just like you are Votan. So I could see the idea with the army, but
Well, it's one of those things like it's 500 points.
hmm,
Like I don't know. Like I want it, but it's like it's one of those armies like I want it. I don't know if I want to do the work on it.
could you just do the kill team?
I have I have the kill team, but I already have a kill team. I have the Sisters Battle kill team.
Hmm.
Granted, one of the Votan boxes I have here is the kill team, so
So you could just keep that and then
we'll see. Yeah, that might be the play, but I'm not stressing about it right now. Lizardman
you have,
right now.
you have options. Good.
Lizardman to kill the time until high elves come out. Because honestly, if I'm not done with Lizardman at that time, unless I'm
You're
close,
abandoning that project.
go away. High elf time.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited to see how Lizardmen play because nobody in the club and the barn has Lizardmen.
I don't know if I'm bringing an army that's terrible or not. I probably am. That's we'll see.
Is it terrible like good or terrible like
No, terrible is in I don't know. I got 2,000 points on a cheat with the way I bought it. It wasn't
I
2,000
see what
points
you mean.
after building a list. It was,
I see what you
hey,
mean.
if I bought these things, could I make a list? And it's like, yes, I can.
I see what you
So
mean. I see what you mean.
we'll
Gotcha,
see. But
gotcha.
all right, with that, Alex, we will bid you adieu.
Very good. I feel
In case there's people out there just listen to this segment, just as a heads up, obviously this is gonna be out the usual Friday, the 24th. The next week, so the final week of January, I'm be traveling for work. Unfortunately, it's during the times that we would all have to normally record, so we're taking the last week of January off. But we'll be back in full force in February with you guys. So stay tuned for that. Um, but yeah, Alex, you have a vacation next week.
yay. What am I gonna happen? What am I gonna do without all the money I get from this podcast?
I know we're so loaded with this money. All
Uh,
right, Alex, I will see you later.
very good. See you later.
And here we are back again with the most beloved man in all of Warhammer, even though you probably don't know him other than unless you're here, then you know him. That's Neil.
All right. That's a little bit much. Laying it on thick there, Chuck, but I'll take it.
I laid it on thick for Alex whenever I did his, so I laid on for thick for you. But yeah, how you doing? How you doing?
Good. I just got some Warhammer in tonight, so unexpectedly. But we had a second game of our AOS Escalation League that I had to try and get in before the next round. So met up with my buddy Carl, and we played a little Chaos Off, Corn versus Nurgle. So, but we can talk about that more in hobby.
Alrighty, all right, we'll get there when we get there. That's right. I guess we should do the obvious talk then. I guess, how's your lawn? I assume you just went through the deep freeze that we went through over here, where it was like negative freaking 9, 10.
It was bad. It was bad. Like the dogs, like we had to literally save our dogs. We don't have small dogs. We don't have like little like get carried away by a hawk type dogs. And they were out there in the snow just not very long, like maybe a minute. And the one just like its paws were hurting so bad that it just stopped. It wouldn't move.
Oh no.
I don't know where this dog has gotten on the evolutionary like scale that like it's like that was the most survival it was going to do, was just try
just die.
nothing. Like that's where we've evolved these house animals to at this point, that they have no ability to try and survive. So literally I had to go out there, pick up my dog, and carry it back inside, and it's 70 pounds. Okay?
Yeah, that's a big dog.
All right. So anyway, but yeah, so not quite a wolf anymore.
Mhm.
We're a little ways away from a wolf, but yeah, right through there. It's snowing tonight, so so more white stuff on the lawn.
Okay, well, that's fair. Mine's much the same. I'm happy that it broke 20 degrees today, so the sun was out. It was nice. My one cat does like to go outside briefly. She's an indoor cat, but she'll go on the deck, the back deck. That's where she's allowed, and she's comfortable there. And she went out there, and it was within 10 seconds. She's like, pick me up. She's like, I don't want to leave outside, but I don't want to touch the ground. So I had to hold her outside for a few minutes so she got her like enjoyment of the outside. Meanwhile, I also leave. I take the food that they don't eat, like the scraps where they're just like, I'm done, or I don't like that flavor. I put it outside because there's a couple stray cats around the neighborhood, which clearly shelter somewhere, because they were out just whatever. It's cold, but whatever. I got to eat. And I'm like, I look at my indoor cats like, you've fallen so far from that tree.
Yeah.
But you know what? Anyway, hobby's good. Lawn's covered in snow. Cold snap's over. Let's talk about the hobby. So yeah, you just got a game in, so you are fresh off of it. You just had a great mighty victory, I assume.
No.
Ah, damn.
No. He wound up taking it in turn 5 by 2 points. And tabled me at the end of that turn, even though I literally took, I think, maybe 33% of his army out in a turn and a double turn. I know people say like, oh, you shouldn't take the double turn, but like I kind of felt like, well, I got a chance to really just smoke this entire army. And I did a lot of work on it, but it's Nurgle, right?
Yeah.
So after the initial bang, that I kind of fizzled after that. So it gave me some things to think about. It's been fun, for what it is. I still hate battle tactics. They can just go away.
You can just not use them.
I may play Brewhammer and just not take them.
You could.
And if that means I lose every game, then that's fine.
But
I'll still
you win every
time.
game. You win every game because you don't play battle tactics.
That's right. So, whatever. So the people get victories. They'll have a great time. We'll roll dice. I'll score objectives and move on with my life and just take that whole nuance out of the game for myself. So
actually, you know what? Maybe we should. Well, tonight, everybody, we're reviewing the Old World Empire Arcane Journal, but I did pick up the Path to Glory Age-Sigmar book that just came out, the narrative one. Maybe we should review that, because there's a very key point in there, and it's essentially how to play the game without battle tactics.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that's all I ever wanted in life, is to not play battle tactics in this game right now.
Right. 100%.
So maybe you and I will peruse that and see what we can glean off that. But
yeah, I'd love to hear about it. Hopefully they have an Anvil of Apotheosis again. But I wonder whether that's.
They've been putting those in the battle tomes.
Are they really?
Yeah, they've been putting those in each new battle tome.
Really? And like for points, like for actual playability, or for like narrative?
I think for narrative, I don't know if they have points associated, but we'd have maybe you and I haven't picked up a battle tome because our armies that we play don't have them yet. Yeah. Although Khorne's coming first before Daughters, obviously. So maybe whenever that comes out, if you decide to pick it up, Maybe we'll
Yeah.
try and figure out how that works.
Yeah, we'll see on that one. We'll see how this Brewhammer goes with corn.
That's fair. It's fair. Any other hobby going on right now? Any prints on the printing bed? Or?
Yeah, I am. There is I'm doing a little printing for somebody. A little surprise printing that you guys will get to see at some point when it's all said and done. But happy to be doing it. It's a little bit of a surprise for this gentleman, and so hope he will like it. So.
I'm sure he will, whoever the hell it is, because you're being very cryptic.
I will reveal at a certain undisclosed time in the future when I actually have completed it, and who knows when that will be.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, I look forward to that. As far as my hobby, I'll say that played some more Saga at the club. Fun little skirmish game. Like I said, not going to talk much more about that. It's not Warhammer. I don't hate it. I'm going to enjoy it. Picked up the Path to Glory book. My Orc Endless Spells and Terrain piece came in. And I still hate myself that I bought them. Like, they're great. They're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. I'm going to paint them and throw them in a box and wish to never use them, ever.
Yeah. I played, I don't know, I put down a Judgment of Corn today. Like, this is the second game in a row I've put one down. And literally, I haven't got it to do anything. It just, like, it comes down to setup so it can't move.
Yeah.
It could potentially charge. I failed to charge. And then it just got, it kind of sat there, took a double turn, then it got dispelled before, right when it was about to do something. And that's the last time I put one down, I moved it in such a way that I just blocked it off from actually being able to do anything. These things are more of a pain in the ass than they are worth, man. I mean, I'm sure there are many people who know how to use these things far better than I do. But I'm just like, what?
I was more against terrain features than endless spells for the longest time. Now I'm against both, and I've realized it's for one reason. It's because they cost nothing in the game. When you had points on the spells, me choosing to not take one was a choice.
Right.
Based upon my list building mechanics. Now me choosing not to take one means I didn't want to buy it, or I don't own it, or can't get it.
Yeah.
And that's what I hate.
Yeah. The whole thing's, just
fix it.
Some of them are cool models too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's like,
they're great. All these orc ones, these are so freaking cool. I love all of them. Like, it's awesome. But
yeah. If the worst comes to worst, you use them for like actual terrain on the battlefield, right?
Yeah, I'll use them for terrain as Old World.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm trying to think what else. Oh, that's a bit, doesn't matter. I did finish assembling something. I'll put it on screen right here. My Lizardman army. That I picked up for the cheap. Like I said, I think the total was like around $240, $250. That was full retail price, thanks to being two of the really old start collecting Lizardmen at my FLGS that I picked up. And then the new Underworlds Warband, which had exactly what I needed to fill in some holes.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm going to get it primed probably tomorrow, because I think it'll be not freezing.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow night, I actually have a game against my regular opponent, Tom. And I was like, hey, I might just bring these primed. I rarely play models unpainted, but I'm itching to just kind of put these down, see what they can do, good or bad. So I think I'm gonna put them down primed tomorrow at least, and just have some fun with them.
Awesome.
So if next episode, if you come back and I've sold them, that means they did so poorly.
I don't know, man. It's always good to have dinosaurs on the battlefield. I mean, you can't really go wrong.
I feel it. And it's not a broken army. Like, it has 2 monsters at level 4, but there's like the only skink I have is technically, I think, on the Troglodyte, and then I have technically I could run a skink priest for like a level 2, which I won't. Doesn't fit in the list anyway. So I don't think I have anything that's broken in this list. I think I just have all the mess stuff, so it should be fun. Nice.
Yeah, I'm not a skink connoisseur. I do like them on things. I don't love them in regiments, but just, I mean, why do that when you have bigger dinosaur guys? with bigger weapons. I don't know.
Riding other dinosaurs. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I just my opponent, I told him I was bringing it, and he's like, "What do you want to face?" And I just said, "Nothing that's an avoidance list. You give me a proper fight, and I'll have a good time with them at least, even if I lose. If you give me avoidance list, I'm just not gonna have a good time."
yeah.
But all right, with all the hobby and lawn talk out of the way, pretty quick too, Neil. We're flying through that. I know we're gonna be slightly tighter tonight, folks. Just for how this one's gonna work out with our timing. But so yeah, let's dive into the Arcane Journal Empire Man, the nice blurry image. Since blurring, just even though this is in front of my face, it's still blurring it. I don't get it. Like, where do you want this? Like,
You gotta get your face out of the picture. There you go.
is it blurred still?
No, that didn't help. Didn't help at all, actually. So,
Oh well. All right. Well, yeah. After this, we'll be caught up on other Arcane Journals again, at least till the High Elf one comes out.
very
Speaking
nice.
of which, sorry, before we do dive in, I don't know if you watched the video I put up or just anyone's video, but did you see about the map changes on the old world?
I did, and I watched your video as well.
Nice. Are you excited for that stuff? Like the expansion of this map?
I'm very excited for it. I mean, I've actually, up until Total War Warhammer, never paid attention to those other areas. Like, I mean,
Oh,
like
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
a
fair.
little bit like okay, there's that stuff over there, but it's not like I was so invested into the elves, right? That like anything outside of the Isle of Uthuan or Nagaroth, and I was like, okay, it exists, But once I started playing Total War and started actually getting to know what Cathay was a little bit, and that kind of thing, I'm like, oh well, I'm very interested. I can't wait to see what an army of that's going to look like.
Oh my
So I
gosh,
think we
yes.
touched on that before, but yeah, but now that you're actually seeing those are places in the map that's opening up. How great is that, right? Because old fantasy was so static on the map, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was what it was. You were 10 seconds to midnight or whatever, and that's just where you were. Period. Nothing changed ever. They came up with that Albion campaign at
Sure.
one
Yeah.
point, right?
Yeah.
Name something on the map there, but that's those kind of things were very rare to happen. So to see like stuff like changing, boom, 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 another thing, right? Like fairly quickly, honestly. I mean, this game's only been out for a year, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah. No, I'm just excited whether it means we get some regiments renowned, dogs of war, whatever you want to call them, or a campaign in that area, or just even if they're just growing the map to give themselves room to breathe. Like it's nice that there's plans for this game going forward.
Yeah,
because like they're doing a good job with it. Keynote, actually, at the time of recording this episode, the map is now down on the website.
is it?
Yeah, they took it down.
Oh, I wonder if maybe that wasn't supposed to
I-
show up. Maybe somebody uploaded the wrong thing. Uh-oh.
I don't know, but the word's out there now. So like, or maybe it was one of those intentional leaks. Like, oh, let's take it down and play coy. Like, I don't know. Hey, whatever. They play their game. We'll play ours.
Yeah. Well, it's given us something to talk about, so that's always nice.
Yeah. I honestly, I wish it was up because then you and I can go a deeper dive. But hey, is what it is.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it exists from people taking pictures of it and screenshots and all the rest of that. So it's out there, whether they want it to be or not.
So yeah, if it disappears for a little while, then yeah, that's when we're gonna start diving in. Like, hey, let's look at this random province and this random place and figure out what's going on with it. And look at the history together online, and for no apparent reason other than content.
Sure.
But yeah, so Empire of Man, Arcane Journal. So I guess let's start just high level thoughts, Neil. I know you haven't had a chance to read the lore in this. I've read a little bit of the lore. What's your high level thoughts just in general of the way this Arcane Journal is compared to other ones?
Well, I just really like, and we kind of touched on this before. I'm not a huge, gun line kind of guy with the war machines. Like, that's not kind of my play style at all with anything I've ever taken. Even though I've been a Caradron player, I don't really love the idea of just shooting somebody off the table. But I'm happy to exist.
If it's Dave, then yes.
Like a point where it's just like, barrier units in the back corner, and I get to slowly move my pieces and slowly take them off the board as you shoot me to death, and I never make it. Right, like perfect.
See, I always used, because I run a dwarf more gunliney. That's how I like it. I always ran my dwarf gunline when I needed a break from trying.
That sounds about right.
Because the
Yeah.
elves are like, you're moving, you're doing all this stuff, magic, and I'm like, all right, dwarves, what are you doing? I'm sitting in this corner, come get me.
Yeah.
You play over here. I'm not doing magic. We're just doing this, and it was a break.
Yeah, that drives me batty. That's like I played one game of I think it was 7th edition, and I remember going up against a dwarf player who was doing that exact thing, and I'm just like I drove 30 minutes down to play this random guy I didn't know,
Yep.
ran my stuff forward and just had it shot off, and I collected my models and went home. Drove around 30 minutes home. I'm like, wow.
At what point in the drive home were you like, what am I doing with my life?
Right, that's about it. Just like, do I need to go back there, like ever? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but thank God I don't have to do
yeah,
that anymore.
that's fair, especially against a random person, unless it's a tournament, then is what it is.
But I love the not the city state of Nome, but the cavalry based one.
The nightly orders.
Which is really nice. Yeah. So I like the fact that the nightly orders are like, they've got different buffs for the different types of, like, the Knights Panther. Going back to like the old metal Knights Panther from eons ago.
Oh yeah.
My younger brother had those. Those were a constant. If we played games, they were always on the table. Just got really used to seeing them, and I love that they're in here and they've got rules, kind of special rules for them and all that kind of thing. So that's where my heart is on this Arcane journal is that area.
See, it's fascinating. I have such a different perception of Knights of the Blazing Sun because when I was playing Fantasy back in the day, there were some Empire folks around, but it was like almost always Reichland or something like that, or something basic.
Yeah.
So I never really saw Knights of the Blazing Sun until Warhammer Online: Age of Reckoning. In which case, you're on foot. So my whole perception of Knights of the Blazing Sun is not on horseback.
That's funny,
which is
because the other unit of horses that my brother had made were Knights of the Blazing Sun. Yeah.
It just blew me away when I saw it. I'm like, huh, that did exist. You're right. I just threw that knowledge away and filled it with my Age of Reckoning stuff. I also do like, I'm a fan of the Null. Actually, I'm a fan of both, honestly. But I do like how there's the Order of the Fiery Heart now. Which, do you know where that came from?
No.
So the sword that Felix found, that dragon slaying sword that makes him want to kill dragons whenever he sees one, that weapon is from the Order of the Fiery Heart. So I don't know where else that was referenced anywhere, or if this was purely made off of like that one small reference from a Gotrek and Felix novel.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, I'd have to like dig deeper on that, or let me know in the comments if you know. But yeah, I'm like 99% sure that's where that came from. I'd have to go back and like reference it, but like I did a quick reference. I'm like, oh yeah, that's where it's at, huh?
Yeah, that's a new one for me. It's always been like, for me, really, Knights Panther, Knights of the White Wolf, and Knights of the Blazing Sun. They also used to have way back in the day like Reiksguard Knights, which I don't see here, and that's probably on purpose because
they don't really exist.
The timeline that we're in right now.
Yep, you nailed it. Yep. Because that's what I'm used to seeing, the Reiksguard, Knights Panther, mostly. And the White Wolf. I didn't see the White Wolf too often, oddly enough. I thought that would have been more popular, but anyway. So, yeah, so you're a fan of that. Like I said, main reason, I'm a fan of gun lines. As long as they're done appropriately. And I think the Null one isn't overkill like it used to be, potentially, or could be potentially. And that said, I know I've complained a lot about cavalry style Arcane Journal armies right now.
Right. Yeah.
But I think this one is the first one that's actually fascinating because of the nightly orders and how it changes up how you have to build your list entirely.
I would argue the Orcs and Goblins one is really well done as well.
I won't disagree with that. I just know I don't have any sort of nostalgia for Orcs and Goblins, which is probably why my brain kind of glosses it a little bit more than maybe it deserves.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, when we get the High Elf stuff, I don't care what it is. It's the best thing in the whole world. Well, let's let's dive in. Do you want to start with Nolan first? Or do you want to start with the your knightly orders first?
Start with Null. That's at the top ones. We'll start there.
All right. So Gnome. So what's this army look like here? Oh, by the way, I do have to shout out. So Nolan's colors primarily black because of all the soot. The other color's gold, and they're an industry town,
Oh
and
boy, this
they
is
live
going.
on the confluence of of two rivers into one. They're Pittsburgh, baby. All right. And on top of
Well, that
that,
gives me another reason to not
dislike
take
them.
this out. Thanks for that.
Also, like they're very much about their individual freedom, and they're very much about guns. So they're America through and through. This is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania through and through. All right, we're good to go. Not that we have a lot of guns. That's Chicago. That's where people get shot. Anyway, no. So Army of Infamy. Let's see. Characters 50%, 0 to 1. General Empire or Lector per 1,000 points. As many captains, master mages, witch hunters, priests, or empire engineers, and 0 to 1 war altars. Taken as a mount for a lector of Sigmar. So you can only take it as a mount. You can't take it as anything else, at least within the characters, which makes sense. Core 1+ regiment of Nuln state troops, which we'll get to, or Nuln veteran state troops. 0 to 1 outriders per 1,000 points. And as many free company, militia, and empire archers, basic core, as you'd like. Special 50% as usual. Great weapons, pistoliers, outriders, empire knights, and war wagons, that new fun piece, which
Oh yeah.
like I didn't buy one. Maybe I should have, just to sit on. But I'm not that type of person. Oh well.
Oh, it's my favorite. Is it? It is. It's my favorite unit in the army, and
Yeah.
it always has been as well. Even though it's been very rare to see because it was super old. So,
Yep. See, in 0 to 3 war machines per 1,000 points, great cannons and mortars, which, like I said, allowing a little bit more cannons. I don't think it's so much that there's more cannons. I think that great cannons being a little bit too powerful compared to other cannons in the game is the
Mhm.
issue, more so, as far as like your gun line
Yeah,
potential.
and why? Why? Like, why is it better than a dwarf cannon?
That I agree with entirely.
I don't understand. Like if anything, it should be the opposite way around, right? Like
Or if you
I
want to
don't
make
know.
if you want to make it more powerful, there better be more volatility towards it. Like if you're like the humans are just packing it full of black powder, but
Yeah,
it could blow up easier. Sure,
yeah.
then that's fine. That's a risk. Yeah, I do like that there's more war machines potentially, but my only complaint is great cannons are a little bit too powerful compared to other ones.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. It could even be like a Skaven type thing, right? Where, okay, it does the same damage as a dwarf cannon, or you could pack it full of more black powder, do this, and you got the greater risk of blowing it up.
I would love that. I would love that because then, like, yeah, it's the humans being stupid because they get antsy, whereas the dwarves would never
Right,
do that.
right.
Oh man. Rare, up to 25%. Empire Road Wardens, 0 to 2 war machines per 1,000 of either Hellblaster Volley Gun, Hellstorm Rocket Battery, and 0 to 1 Steam Tank per 1,000 points. So cool. You get access to all your guns, all your fun stuff. There's mercenaries, which include Imperial Ogres, Imperial Dwarfs, and 0 to 2 Doom Seekers per 1,000 points, which that's the most fascinating part. Doom Seekers. Because, with the Gotrik and Felix, we're used to, like, Slayers specifically being amongst humans because they're just all over the place.
Yeah,
So I that's the first time I saw a mercenary rule. I'm like, that's neat. That's lore driven.
neat.
Yeah. Granted, good luck
I,
buying Doom
yeah, I
Seekers
do
right now.
not mind. I do not like in Age of Sigmar. I hate the idea of mercenaries and of add-ons to the army. I hate it. I think it's very icky to me. But here in Old World, where there's like a mechanic that's actually built in and kind of thought out here a little bit, I don't mind it as much if there's a good reason for it, right? If there's a lore reason that I can kind of see it working at. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think it's a part of the most recent editions of Sigmar where they have those, especially the most current one where it's just like preset regiments. There's no lore sense to it.
Yeah.
And there's not even like a sense of I can make the lore work. Like even like when you could bring here's allies and it's a limited resource as far as which armies you can pull from, you could create a lore
yourself, which would still satisfy that to a point. Now it's kind of gone. So yeah, I'm with you, and I'm kind of turning around, not on mercenaries because I think they're good, but I kind of reaching the point where I'm like, kind of want to throw some in. I want to roll on that table. I want to see what happens. I want to have some fun.
Yeah, shake something up. It gives you a way to write a different list, which is always good.
Or also
right?
just, I want to paint a unit from Empire, but I want to keep playing my high elves. I don't want an Empire army. Okay, well now I can figure out how to make it work, possibly.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's see here. All right, so some of the special rules for City State of Nuln: big guns, no fear. Empire engineers in City State of Nuln and any unit they have joined gain immune to psychology special rule whilst there are friendly war machines within their command range. And that is fantastic because your back line will just be immovable. But that's not fantastic because if someone's in your back line, they're just charging the war machines anyway.
Yeah.
They're going to ignore your thing that's immune to psychology. But it's flavorful and I get it.
Sure.
And also, I mean, if you can keep your engineer in there and he can still give buffs to the war machines nearby, sure, why not give him more protection? Entrenched position, I do like this a lot. During deployment, you may entrench a single non-character model whose troop type is war machine for each engineer. Essentially, you're going to give them partial cover. They'll be in a low linear obstacle, and if they move, they lose it. So, if you're doing null, you're probably going to bring a couple engineers just to have that. The nice thing about that specifically is like, it will ruin the day of anybody that brings fanatics and they throw them at a war machine.
True. The other thing is, if it's a low linear obstacle, then technically you can't run a chariot into it. And you can't get impact hits or stomp attacks on it.
That's also a good call out from the recent FAQ. Yeah, because outside of Tomb Kings who run units of chariots, everyone else, like, I could see a war machine possibly surviving a round. And, you know, if I had a chariot charge into my war machine and I survived a round, or wouldn't be too upset because then you can charge into the next thing and maybe even save that war machine. That's a good call out. Let's see. Gun limbers, 0 to 1. Oh, actually, you know what? With the entrenched position, I've even considered, I was like looking at it, just like staring at my table and putting like models out in comparison. Not that I have an Empire army, but I'm like, what if I put a steam tank out front that doesn't have a character in it? Because I could technically entrench that until it moves. Planning to go second or planning to leave it for like a nice big counterpunch with the army. Maybe? Yeah. So I don't know how to work out, but I want to try it.
Yeah. I mean, with those steam tanks, I mean, they're gonna have a hard time touching those things anyway, you know. So
true. Well, I guess if they, like I say, it goes back to fanatics. If you have an army with fanatics, you could maybe bait them out and let them just run into it for no reason and die. Let's see. All right, gun limbers. 0 to 1 war machine per 1,000 points, chosen from the following. May be given Vanguard or Veteran special rule. Cannons, mortars, Hellblaster, Hellstorm rocket batteries. Sure. I don't know. I was trying to figure out like a full use case for this. To give veteran to it. I mean, rerolling, I guess, is good, but I don't know. I feel like outside of a lucky shot from another war machine taking out one and causing some panic, like, I don't know if it's worth the points potentially, but it's neat that it's there, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
all right, fine. So it's plus points. Yeah, I don't even know why it's plus points. Really, I mean,
it'd be great if it like, hey, for every 1,000 points, you can choose one as automatically a veteran. That would be fun.
Yeah, and then you're not paying anything extra, and you just get it. You know.
Yeah, I can't see myself paying for points for it, but also I may be missing a very obvious use case. Like, let me know in comments below, because Neil and I can learn, and that way, whenever Cole polls it against us, we can be like, haha, got ya.
Right.
All right, handgun drill. I love this one. Once per game, each detachment of state missile troops in a city Nuln state can fire with 1 additional rank. So you're not having to chase those hills. It's just once per game. Probably going to be close up. Just getting that extra rank of firing could just be pretty big.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. It reminds me of Kraith. You know, like it's like extra bonus. Like, just do it because it's cool. And then you're playing the game too with that. If you do it too early, then it's long range. You'll probably miss anyway. Or if you wait till it's too close, they might be able to get a good long over average charge in, and you missed it anyway. All right, and then non-state troops, regiments of non-state troops and non-veteran state troops are made from the following profiles as state troops and veteran troops of Empire Man, blah, blah, blah. Non-state troops consist of a regiment of state troops accompanied by 1 to 2 detachments of state missile troops and or swordsmen, which are probably going to be the missile troops in this case, let's be honest. Non-veteran state troops, much the same. Each unit of state troops or veteran state troops must be equipped with halberds, which is fun, because I like that you're not just like guns. It's no, we're still military here. Detachment of swordsmen consists of state troops equipped with hand weapons and shields. And unlike regular detachments in this regiment of the non-state troops may upgrade 1 model to a sergeant for free. So, okay, so you get your upgrade for free, and I believe that they can take a gun, too. So your sergeant in the unit can get a gun, essentially. And then probably the most interesting part about all this, and this could be the most oppressive, potentially, veteran outriders, which is essentially just the your horsey gun guys. Missile weapons wielded by outriders in this army are not subject to ponderous special rules. So you're moving and shooting in a skirmish formation. That's where it could get a little oppressive, but I haven't heard about anybody breaking this yet. It's just, hey, you have a good unit in here, but doesn't seem to be ruining the game for anybody right now. But yeah, that's the long and short of it. It's a pretty simple list. It's pretty straightforward. Extra war machines, extra guns going in. I could see doing the big block of halberds with 2 units of missiles on the side, getting at least 2 ranks in there, or 1. Actually, I wonder how that works with the. Does a regiment count for each detachment? Okay, yeah, they're detachments. So yeah, so you could do 1 big block of halberds of 20, and then 2 units of 10. Guns nearby, and then once per game, each of them could shoot twice. So it could be a nice little center core line as you're defending your guns as they go on when your outriders doing work. So I like it. I'm a fan. It fits the feel of what I like for an Empire army with a Null state, especially playing Vermintide. I think that was set in Null. So yeah, it fits all the happiness for me. And I honestly don't feel like it's as oppressive as the gun lines that you and I remember from 8th. I don't think it's that bad. Even with those great cannons being a little bit too powerful maybe than what they should be. I still think it's
the Hellblasters that worry me. It's not the cannons.
That's fair. That's fair.
And the cannons can explode one or 2, maybe 3 guys, right? It's the Hellblasters that can mow down my entire regiment and then without thinking twice about it.
I mean, yeah, there's room to put them in, so maybe I could see that. It's wait to see, because I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't know what one LVO recently. Maybe it's Bretonnians. I forget. But I don't. Yeah. Also, I don't think they were using this yet anyway, so we can't tell. So I guess we'll wait for some maybe bigger events to appear that are allowing this Arcane Journal and don't have extra comp on top of things, which might be few and far between, so who knows?
Well, I can tell you, my friend, that if I was running this particular army, a Empire War Wagon is 140 points. They can be up to 50% of my army. And so I would have 50% of my army as war wagons.
Really? There's no limit?
It's special. So
special. Okay.
So, oh yeah, baby. Maybe all over the place.
What's happening? War Wagon 1A is charging, 1B is charging, 1C is charging.
That's right. Yep. We're all firing from our platforms. There's just a million little towers moving around the battlefield.
Hey, did you ever play chess? Yeah. What if you play chess with all rooks?
That's right.
And a griffin. Let's go.
That's right.
All right. That's cool. No, yeah, like I said, I'm a fan. This is probably the more boring one, I think. But I like the simplistic of it. So do you have any other thoughts on Nuln?
Well, I think that pretty much covers it. I think it's cool.
Okay.
Road Wardens, that's kind of cool getting like a new character unit.
Yeah, I like, once again, like Old World's being very positive kit bashy. Like, hey, here's this kit, just kind of put them together, make your own thing, have fun. Boom, here's some rules for it. Like, they always
Yeah.
do that, and that's my favorite part. And actually, that's the most interesting part. I want to know what they're going to do for that with high elves, because we don't have as many kits that are interchangeable as easily.
Yeah.
So anyway,
You know, there's always something you can
there's
do.
always something. You're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah, Nuln, I like it. It's good. Doesn't feel too good. I wait to be proven wrong. But tell me about these nightly orders.
Let's go. Let's get to the real meat. The real meat and potatoes, as they say.
That's why Neil's here.
That's right. So, this is a nightly order army. Characters, up to 50% of your army's points value may be spent on 0 to 1 Grand Master. Love to see him. 1+ Chapter Master, 0 to 1 Lector of Sigmar or High Priest of Ulrich per 1,000 points. So you can really start to theme, an Ulrich type list in this kind of scenario. Witch Hunters, Priest of Sigmar, Priest of Ulrich, 0 to 1 War Altar of Sigmar, taken as a mount for Elector of Sigmar. Always been a big fan of the War Altar, so let's see that showing up there. Core, at least 25% of your army's points must be spent on 0 to 1 unit of Inner Circle Knights, may be taken as a core choice. 1+ unit of Empire Knights per 1,000 points. So bring your knights, kiddos, because that's what this is doing. And then you could also have Empire Archers for some reason. Not sure why.
I don't know why, but they're there.
You could have them. Special, up to 50% of your army's points value may be spent on Inner Circle Knights and Demigryphs. 0 to 1 unit of Empire State Troops or State Missile Troops per 1,000 points. I love how Empire State Troops have moved to special. I don't see that. Woo!
Why are they special? Because if you don't have a horse, you don't belong right now.
Right, get out of here with that. That's nonsense. All right, and then rare, up to 25% of your army's points may be spent on Pistoliers. A single chapter master in your army may be upgraded to your battle standard for 25 points. In addition to the usual allowance of points to spend on magical items, as a battle standard bearer can purchase a single magical standard with no points limit.
That is fun.
That is really fun.
So no artillery, because who cares? You're not on a horse. Get back. Oh, I guess with the war altar. Oh, it doesn't matter. You have no nothing that's not pulled by a horse. Like this is the horse army, and no mercenaries.
And see, this screams to me: take this against a Bretonnian army, right?
Yeah.
And prove to them that their horses suck. They are not as good as Empire horses. Plumy pants for the victory, right? Over Frenchmen and their cheese,
Mm-hmm. It is fascinating how this is more like, I feel the Nuln is a very simple army, simple approach, but there's room to play. Whereas this feels right now even simpler and less room to play. Yeah. It is until we start looking at the nightly orders, which really just unlocks this to a new level.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about the nightly orders. The general of a nightly order army of infamy must be a Grand Master or a Chapter Master who must belong to one of the nightly orders, as described on page 44. Every other Chapter Master and every unit of Empire Knights, Inner Circle Knights, or Demigryph Knights must belong to the same nightly order as your general. Additional units may be allowed or restricted depending on which nightly order your army belongs to. Right?
Nice.
You could have the Knights Panther, and why wouldn't you want them? As an army of the Knights Panther,
you have to pay Panther. You have to pay Panther. That's why you don't want them. Because it's hard.
0 to 1 unit of Empire Knights or Inner Circle Knights belonging to the Order of the White Wolf as a mercenary choice. This unit is not subject to the misbehaving mercenaries rules.
Nice.
And then we've got Knights of the White Wolf. An army of Knights of the White Wolf may include any number of Tutegen Guard,
which are really good. By the way,
How do you say
you had it.
Tutegen?
Yeah, Tutegen.
All right. Wow. Yeah. And special choices and 0 to 1 unit of free company militia, lover free company, as a core choice per 1,000 points. However, your army cannot include any lectors of Sigmar, priests of Sigmar, or witch hunters.
Listen, if you're not speaking Ulrich, get GTFO. This is Ulrich's army.
Knights of the Blazing Sun. An army of Knights of the Blazing Sun may include 0 to 2 master mages as character choices per 1,000 points and 0 to 1 great cannon or mortar. So there we're coming back with some war machines as a special choice per 1,000 points. However, your army cannot include any lectors of Sigmar or high priests of Ulrich.
Now, what's fascinating so far, that Knights of the Blazing Sun is the first one to go, hey, did you realize you can't take any wizards in this army right now?
Yeah.
But do you want wizards?
Yeah.
You're Knight of the Blazing
That
Sun.
will probably be, if I had to guess, if you're going to take this, that would probably be one of the. Well, maybe let's talk about the next one here before I make any statements like that. So, Knights of More. An army of Knights of More may include wizard lords and master mages as character choices. So now I take that back. This is the army you're going to play if you're going to play competitively. However, your army cannot include any lectors of Sigmar, priests of Sigmar, high priests of Auric, or priests of Auric. So that's where you're going to get your level 4 mage that you all want.
I would say right now, my top 2 choices for competitive play, and we haven't read the last one yet, but Knights of More if you want to go magic, for sure. If you're okay without magic and you just want to beat face, Knights of the White Wolf. The Tudor Guard, when we get there, Neil, if you haven't read them, are just not way too, they're good. They're just great.
Well, we will definitely get to them. All right, last one is Knights of the Fiery Heart. An army of Knights of the Fiery Heart may include any number of units of flagellants as rare choices. However, your army cannot include any high priests of Auric or priests of Auric.
I think that's a double negative, actually. I think that's 2 bad things right there, right? I don't know if flagellants are good, honestly, but I'm not interested. Yeah. Honestly, looking at this, if I wanted to win, I'd probably go White Wolf personally, because I know what Tudor Guard do. But if I was to actually theme my army out of this specific army, Knights of the Blazing Sun all the way.
Yeah, I would.
Just for narrative.
I've got a special. See, I like the White Wolf because they're classic, and I also like the Knights Panther. And if you run Knights Panther, you can have Knights of the White Wolf. It's probably what I would do. However, that's just for having a nice, themed army, that looks the way I want it to. If it's competitive for me, you're going Knights of More with your level 4 wizards, and you're not looking back. So whatever the Tudor Guard can do won't matter if they're getting hit by 18 different. What's Battle Magic? The flaming template that moves around.
Oh, the Pillar of Fire.
Yeah, Pillar of Fire. You got 18 of those on the board. It won't matter what.
Well. Listen, I'll just be shooting you off with my my non cannons and my non hell blasters.
There you go.
But let's there's the 2 basic outlines. Before we look at the special characters we got, let's look at the units that are new.
All right.
Let's look at the first one, Harbingers of Doom.
We're coming down to actual.
So essentially, this is just a updated version of Flagellants, I feel. They have flails. They can take great weapons. May get magic item. Feel no pain, which is great. Furious charge, immune to psychology, impetuous, hatred, all enemies, which is fantastic. Prayer of the Damned, unbreakable zealot. So what's Prayer of the Damned? During command subphase of their turn, the character may attempt to chant Prayer of the Damned, making leadership test. I say Harbingers of Doom. It's a flagellant hero. Sorry. I made it sound like a unit. Sorry. It's a flagellant hero essentially. All right, so you do Prayer of the Damned, leadership test against your own leadership. If passed until the start of your next turn subphase, the character and any unit they have joined 6+ ward against any wounds, or 5+ wounds against any wounds suffered that were caused by combat by an enemy with fear or terror. So if you know you're about to go into a dragon, you know which one to cast for this character.
Nice.
And a character of this can only join fanatical zeal. So essentially, this is it's a fanatic hero that can join fanatics only and will buff them up. So if you do like fanatics, you like this guy, and he is 65 points, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 2, attacks 3. Like, he's not a slouch.
Yeah, weapon skill 5. Yeah.
Yep.
Leadership 8. That's
Yeah,
nice too.
he's gonna pass it. And an Empire of Man army that includes one or more flagellants may include 0 to 1 harbingers as a character choice. So I think it's the first time we've seen a unit unlock a character as opposed to character sort of like messing with a unit.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, if we look back, there's the maybe Knights of the Fiery Heart. You get to take a flagellant, you get that guy in there. All of a sudden, you might have a pretty beefy survivable anvil to hold up the center line while your knights run around it. So maybe there's some play in that I didn't see before.
By the way, if you are taking this gentleman, you're going to take him with a flail. You know that the great weapon's better. We all know that the great weapon's better, but we don't care because we're going to take a flail because it's just more themey for
Yeah.
for a chap like him to have, you know. So
Yeah. You're taking a
do the right
flail.
thing.
I mean, I suppose you could take a magic weapon too, but
I guess so.
is there a magical flail? We'll figure that out later.
Yes. It better be a magical flail. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
All right. Do you want to read about the 2-Dungeon Guard, the heavy infantry, Neil? Do you want to be blown away?
Let's do it. First Knight. So these are almost like kind of like what I used to think of as the Rijksguard, right? They used to have like they were not mounted knights. This goes way back, but they used to have knights on foot way back when. And so this is what it kind of reminds me of. But movement 4, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 3. Not that matters. Strength 3, toughness 4. Very nice. Wounds 1. Initiative 3, not awesome. Attacks 1, leadership 8, and 13 points for that. They have equipments, hand weapons, wolf hammers, and full plate armor.
So 4 up save to start here, boys.
Very nice.
Normal upgrades as usual. 50 point
and their
standards.
special rules. Yeah. And then we got, let's see, Guardians of the Temple, special rule, plus 1 point per model. Those members of the 2 Guard selected to, where we are.
Reroll natural hits of 1.
Oh, there we are. Yep. There it is. And your Wolf Hammer, by the way, is a strength plus 1.
So there's strength 4.
AP minus 2 requires 2 hands.
But not strikes last.
That's exactly what I was looking for. Yep. Very nice. Very nice.
So essentially strength 4, toughness 4, initiative 3, so you'll get initiative 6 at most.
Well, we forgot about the notes here underneath this Wolf Hammer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If the builder of a Wolf Hammer uses it during a turn in which they made a charge move of 3 inches or more, they have a plus 2 modifier to their strength characteristic rather than the usual 1. So now you have a great weapon that doesn't have armor piercing, but still, we don't need that because of all the other benefits you're getting off this thing.
It does, has AP 2.
Great weapons, if I'm not mistaken, are AP 2 with armor piercing 1.
Gotcha. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you'll be charging 3 inches. You'll be strength 5, toughness 4, weapon skill 4, that's average. Initiative 6, you'll probably be swinging at worst case same time as elves for other things. So you're going to be putting out a hurt real easily against another unit.
Leadership 8, and it's got 6 plus ward save against any wounds suffered that were caused by an attack that has flaming attack special rule. So you don't care about that.
No, that doesn't exist.
They got drilled, and they've got stubborn, and they've got veteran. So
that all great things. They're sticking around.
Oh yeah, drilled for the win. That's the one you want to see right there. So they're going to move pretty fast too. So.
I do like stubborn too. Give you that free round of oops, I screwed up.
Yeah, sure.
Especially if you get charged and you hold off and you just don't follow up on a stubborn, that's good to go.
Yeah.
All right. Imperial Ogres. All right. We'll go through it quick. I'm not the biggest Imperial Ogre fan.
Yeah.
Strength 4, toughness 4, movement 6, which is fine. Weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, but high attacks 3s and 4s for the champion. Units of 3. They can take great weapons, morning stars, light cannons, ogre pistols. You get a champion. Light armor can go to heavy armor if you want for 3 points a model. They have armor bane 1, close order, fear, impact hits 1. They're mercenaries, motley crew, and ogre charge. Ogre charge, armor piercing, characteristics, impact hits caused by model. The special rules improved by the current rank bonus. Which I don't know, like if they're 31 points a model. I don't know. That feels like we're
I
investing a lot in the
like Imperial
mercenaries.
ogres like a basic army. I don't know if I want like they're not going in any of these armies, you know.
No,
Like
they don't. They don't fit, and they're too expensive to get that extra rank for that rule to matter. Light cannon, sure, 18 inches, strength 4, -1, armor bane 2, D3 hit. Yeah, like I'm not sold. They're dogs of war. Dwarven Mountain Holds, Empire of Man. So maybe put them in Dwarven Mountain Holds because they have the higher movement and they still shoot. Maybe that's where they can get some play.
yeah.
But even there, I'd have to really look to find points for them. I feel
Mm-hmm.
at least a 2,000 point list games.
Yeah, they're not going to make it into anything I'd be doing with this book, I don't think.
Nope. What about Empire Road Wardens? New little like cavalry, 4+ units.
Let me find where I'm kind of jumping around here a little bit. So
Yeah, the copy that Neil's looking at is a little jumbled up, unfortunately, from the way it was sent.
all right. Road Wardens, where are you? Why don't you take Road Wardens
All right.
before I can't find it? So
Gotcha. So we got movement 8 because of the warhorse, weapon skill 3, ballistic skills 4, 5 on the captain, strength 3, toughness 3, wounds 1, initiative 3, attacks 1, leadership 7, unit size 4+. Hand weapons, crossbows, heavy armor, and then of course the iron shod hooves on the horses. Entire unit may take a crossbows with brace of pistols for +1 per model. Standard upgrades across the board. Captain can get brace of pistols, repeater pistol. They can buy ambushers or scouts, which is always a great addition. Based on how you want to play that. It's only 1 point per model for both of those. So if you want to ambush or if you want to be a scout, both solid. They're fast cav, fire and flee, which is great, especially for a unit that wants to shoot and is mobile like this. They'll just shoot you and run away, shoot you and run away. They're open order, skirmish, also great, swift stride, vanguard. And they are 18 points per model, by the way. Any army made using Empire Man Grand Army composition may include 0 to 1 Road Wardens as a special choice for 1,000 points. And it says to represent them, made using Empire Outriders armed with crossbows taken by Empire State troops. So it's even teaching you how to kit bash them. So it's just a quick little skirmish harasser. Fairly cheap on the points. You only need 4 of them, 18 points each. So, yeah, you're under 100 points for some harassers, some redirectors, skirmish, war machine hunters. I think it's a solid, simple little choice, especially since you can scout or ambush them. Because really, let's be honest, you're paying 19 points a model at minimum, because that's what you want to do. You want to make them ambush or scout. But also kit bashing time, right? Oh, Neil, you muted yourself somehow. You're good.
I did. Sorry.
All good.
Yeah, I like the feigned flight special rule. So I would scout with them, you know, personally, maybe vanguard and scout with them. Yeah, feigned flight for the win. Love it.
Yep. All right. Well, let's tell you. Next up is the Empire War Wagons. This is your boy. This is your baby.
Oh, yeah.
This is
I
your
gotta take my
castle.
war wagons here. So
I can't take this from you.
so 140 points. Let's start with that. So these are
Woo!
that's the same price as a White Lions chariot. You know, so
Yeah.
this is a heavy chariot as well with an armor value of 3+. Thank you very much.
Damn. Okay. Rub it in, why don't you?
So we're coming in heavy already. We got 6 wounds on this bad boy. Close order, crushing weight, impact hits, D6 +1, war wagon only, large target, stable firing platform, and stomp attacks, D3 +1.
And there's 2 horses and 6 crew.
Yeah.
It's a beefy boy.
Yes, it is. So
I know you can't see it, but like that art is so fun.
Yeah.
It's blurry, just like, oh, love it.
So we got some special rules here. So crushing weight. Stomp attacks made by the war wagon have an armor-piercing characteristic of -1. In addition, and unlike other chariots, this model treats low linear obstacles as dangerous terrain rather than impossible terrain. All right. So
Yeah, fantastic.
if you by chance run across a hedge or fence in your games, you will get to ignore that.
Yeah, you might take a wound, maybe. I doubtful.
Stable firing platform to reflect the stability of a war wagon. Any missile weapons carried by the crew can be used in the shooting phase, even if the war wagon marched this turn.
That's
Ooh,
fun.
that is so nice.
Especially
then we
for
got,
especially for something in the future that I love about it, but we're not there yet.
all right, here we're going to keep on going here. Assorted weapons. The crew of a war wagon carry a wide variety of weapons. Blah, 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 blah. In addition to their hand weapons, each member of a war wagon crew is armed differently, with each carrying one of the following 6 unique weapons: a blunderbuss, a long rifle, repeating rifle, a ball and chain, hooked halberd, and a man catcher.
So essentially, in melee, in ranged, you have 3 attacks. Essentially,
Yep.
In combat, you have 3 hand weapons and then 3 special weapons.
It is like if you had a bunch of these, it would be very annoying to like roll
well,
all this stuff separately. It's gonna
yeah.
take a while.
One is fine. One is fine without issue. But yeah, like if you had like 3 of these, I'd be like, can you just average it? Like I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll take the worst end of the
yeah.
average too. Just move on.
So your blunderbuss is a 12-inch range, strength 3, AP -1, multiple shots, D3, volley fire. So I don't know why volley fire makes sense here, but
It really doesn't actually.
okay, whatever. A model armed with a blunderbuss suffers no negative modifiers for firing at long range, for using multiple shots, D3 special rule, or whilst making a stand and shoot charge reaction. So that's pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, only plus the skill 3, so that's good.
Yeah.
Like yeah, if that was minus, it'd be like it's not worth shooting.
Absolutely. Hockland long rifle, it just says long rifle, but we all know it's from Hockland.
Mm-hmm.
Right? 36-inch, strength 4, AP -1 with armor bane of 1 and cumbersome. A model armed with long rifle can target a specific model within its target unit, such as a champion or a character. So that chaos champion who slayed your champion at the start of the battle, you're just going to pick that guy out and you're going to put it right between his eyes, right?
Yep.
So,
yep. You'd be like, I don't care. I'm just gonna keep shooting you. I don't care if I don't kill you. I'm just gonna harass you all game.
So we got
you are my bitch.
That's right.
Sorry.
Repeating rifle, 24 inches. Strength 4, AP -1, armor bane 1, and multiple shots 3. So that's pretty nice. Like that.
Yep.
Ball and chain combat, strength +3, AP -2, armor bane 1, requires 2 hands and strikes last. So
that's fine.
So this is, let's see, that is, you got War Wagon Crew, so they're going to be hitting at strength 6 with that thing.
Yep, strength 6.
It's 1 attack though, so it's not going to do all that much.
Listen, you're killing 1 model.
Yeah,
because
probably are.
Yeah, you're killing 1 model at least.
Hooked halberd, combat, strength +1, AP -2, armor bane 2, requires 2 hands. Nothing to sneeze at there either.
Mm-mm.
And then we got our man catcher here. Combat, strength S, AP -1, killing blow, and requires 2 hands.
Let me tell you where this is going every time. If you are running the war wagon and you charge into combat with the war wagon, you say, all these attacks are going here, the man catcher's going on your champion. And you kill that champion every single time to remove those extra attacks they get. It's killing blow. Just go for it. If you don't do that, you're a coward.
Absolutely. So this Engines of Destruction, army made using the Empire Man Grand Army composition list, may include 0 to 1 war wagons as a rare choice for 1 per 1,000 points. Character mount, a war wagon may include in your army as a character's mount as follows. If so, its points are added to that of its rider. An Empire engineer may be mounted on a war wagon. Plus 140 points to whoever you mount on there.
You give your engineer this, and you give him the Hockland long rifle, and he's on a stable firing platform, and he is just sniping out everything all the time. You thought your character was your crewman? No. This engineer is gonna just be like, boom, headshot, boom, headshot.
So good.
That's my favorite part.
My question is, does it add wounds to your characters, or is it still just 6? Well, it'd be like a chariot though, right? It's a heavy chariot. So you're talking about a 10 wound, or I'm sorry, 9 wound. Well, if you got an engineer, it's an 8 wound model.
Yeah, it's only 2s. I didn't see that in the FAQ anywhere.
That's how regular chariots work, though, right?
It is, but I think we'd have to look exactly how it's worded with the chariots, because well,
You did-
do the chariot
and don't
profiles
they
normally have it, or is
displace
the
one of the crew?
Well, usually the chariots are like an upgrade choice, but it's listed differently. In my games, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah,
But
because I think you displace one of the crew, right? In normal chariot
no,
rules.
you
if
don't
you add
displace
it
any
to-
crew anymore.
Oh, yeah.
You don't
Oh, is
displace
that
any
right?
crew anymore. Even if you
Okay.
it says even if you can't model them, they're still there.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So you're probably right. I'm gonna lean towards you're right, because even if you're wrong, if for some reason you don't get the extra 2 wounds, that's still great. I still love it.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure you would.
You
Yeah.
probably would. You're probably right. Yep.
Especially if you're getting a plus 140 points on your character, right? But yeah, I mean,
Well-
yeah, I mean that. Yeah, I want one.
Well,
All right, what's next?
Well, before we look at the nightly order stuff that we get going on here, let's look at the special characters we got real quick. They'll be pretty quick. They're neat, but so far there's been maybe like 1 or 2 special characters in all these books where I'm like, man, I want to take that. One's Grim Burluxon, which I just picked him up with the pre-orders. But I'll start with actually the first one's Night Panther. Why don't you take him? Harold Gimminson.
Harold
Jemison.
Gemminson, Grandmaster of the Knights Panther.
Okay,
All right.
hold on. Sorry, everybody. We're American. Harold Gimminson. That's his name. Now and
That's right,
forever.
that's
I'm
right.
sorry.
There's Harold. Woo-wee, Harold Gemminson. All right. He weapon skill 7. Woo-wee. Ballistic skill 3, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 3, initiative 6, attacks 4, leadership 9. Coming out in a strong 185 points. He has a hand weapon, the Beast Reaver, and full plate armor.
He's also heavy cavalry.
Yes, he is. And he's got his Bard Warhorse has iron shod hooves and barding, as they do.
Look at those special rules.
Special rules. Countercharge. First charge. Grandmaster of the Knights Panther. Hatred. Warriors of Chaos, Beastman's Bray Herds, and Demonic models.
So you'll fight one of
So-
those armies.
Right.
Maybe 2. Maybe 2 in the future here.
So yes. So demonic models, which obviously don't exist in this game. However, we won't go into that because
Chaos is
that
busy.
just shows you that they deserve to be in the game, right?
Yes, 100%.
Immune to psychology, magic resistance -1, master of battle, rallying cry, skilled duelist, stubborn, swift stride, and veteran. Harold Gumminson belongs to the Order of Knights of Panther, therefore he may re-roll a single dice that rolls a natural 1 when making a charge roll before discarding any dice that are required to be discarded. In addition, Harold may only join a unit that belongs to the Order of the Knights Panther. So,
Okay, fair.
right. And he has skilled duelist. Should good old Harold slay an enemy in a challenge during a turn in which he charged, he may immediately issue a second challenge. If this challenge is accepted, it is fought immediately, meaning Harold, but not his mount, may fight 2 challenges during a single round of combat.
So you challenge out, hope they're foolish enough to take the champion, kill the champion, and then kill the BSB or whatever have in you. Or if you get charged, that's what you do. You're like, all right, I'm gonna eat up 2 of these major attacks. Go get them, boys.
And this gentleman, he's got a Beast Reaver, and Beast Reaver is a Strength +1, AP -1, Armor Bane 1, Killing Blow, and magical attacks. When making attacks against Beastman Bray Herds, he may re-roll any failed rolls to wound.
I
Good.
wish that was re-roll any or any wounds to roll. Any wounds to roll or rolls to wound. Sorry. Oh my gosh, I can't say those words. I
Yeah.
wish it wasn't failed only. I wish you could just, on Beastman specifically, just fish for that killing blow.
Yeah.
I really wish you could. Just it'd be iconic, but
It would be amazing. Absolutely.
all right. If you were taking your nightly orders, would you take him?
Absolutely.
Okay, and then you're probably gonna go Knights Panther then in that case specifically.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. Yep.
All right. Well, let me look at the known one. General Heinz van Lowenhacky. He's an infantry guy. We got movement 4, weapon skill 6, ballistic skill 5, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 3, initiative 4, attacks 4, leadership 9, 190 points. Basic infantry. He's got hand weapon, full plate armor, judgment of the Griffin Helm. Special rules, a lot less. Hold the line, mercenary commander, rallying cry, strategic mastery, and stubborn. So mercenary commander, essentially if you have mercenaries in your army, which the Null one does allow for a lot of fun mercenaries, they don't have to roll into misbehaving. They're going to be kept in line because they respect this guy enough, which is cool because the lore of Lowenhack is he's been all over the place and has been a general for many different of the Empire states. So he's well versed with all of them, and he's very able to. He's a man of the people in this. Well, I'd say your character, Knights Panther, he's man of the people, whereas this is a man of. He knows how to get respect from anybody. Strategic mastery. In scenarios where players roll off to determine who takes the first turn, you may apply a +1 or -1 to the result you roll. That just always feels good. Just knowing that you can choose to go, you can deploy in a sense where you're most likely going to be able to choose if you're going first or second, so you can deploy appropriately, especially if you're doing a War Machine army.
That's huge.
You can deploy. I'm going to go first. I'm going to shoot you.
Right.
Great. Love it. Griffin Helm. He has a 5-up ward against any wounds suffered and makes him immune to killing blows special rule. That's huge. If hands would be struck by killing blow, he's permitted an armor and regeneration save as normal. If the wound is unsaved, he loses only a single wound. Obviously, like I said, in my little setup, you have that big unit of halberds with the 2 detachments next to it of 10 riflemen. He's in the center of that. And he's just that line's not moving, and the guns are just pounding away behind him, while the pistoliers or outriders, or whatever. The new special unit is just running around ad hoc. And in combat, not a slouch either, especially with his weapon skill 6, strength 4, because his weapon is strength +2, so he's strength 6, -2 AP. It is magical attacks, multiple wounds 2, and requires 2 hands. And initiative 4 is no slouch, so you do not want to get challenged by this guy. He is going to screw up a lot of stuff for you, even if you're an ogre, chaos lord, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
So, if in a general army, I could see him being taken. But like Nuln, definitely for sure, just because that +1 -1 just feels way too good. And I think if I go to the website right now, I think he is sold out, whereas the other one is not.
Oh, really?
Let me just pull up a second screen here, and I will check that.
Well, while you're checking that, why don't I move on and start talking about these knightly orders a little bit?
Yes, go right ahead.
All right. So, models belonging to the Order of Knights Panther. All right, must be armed with lances. Note that models able to purchase magic weapons may do so as normal. May re-roll a single dice that rolls a natural 1 when making a charge roll before discarding any dice that are required to be discarded. Gain the Hatred Warriors of Chaos, Beastmen Brayhards, and Demonic Models special rule. In addition, a Grandmaster, Chapter Master, or unit of Inner Circle Knights belonging to the Order of Knights and Panther gains the Magic Resistance -1 rule. Let's go.
All right.
So, moving on.
And yes, Lowenhack is currently sold out, as is Teutonic Guard. Most of except for the command, the command's still there. The Necromancer Wizard, Battle Wizard are also both gone. But everything else is still in stock, so.
Goodness.
Well, to be fair though, they have been much better at keeping stuff in stock, so it's not that outlandish. I think it just proves that they've been better at keeping stuff in stock, and people are going to run him a lot.
Right.
So.
All right. Well, Order of the White Wolf. Models belonging to the Order of the White Wolf must be equipped with either great weapons or halberds, which they may replace with wolf hammers for free. Note that models able to purchase magic weapons may do so as normal. Gain the Furious Charge special rule.
Oh,
Ooh,
no.
You like that.
Yep.
In addition, Grandmaster, Chapter Master, or unit of Inner Circle Knights belonging to the Order of the White Wolf has a 5+ ward save against any wounds suffered that were caused by an attack. That's the flaming attack special rule. So,
So your Grandmaster is doing work. I don't even know, because the Grandmaster is going to be like, do you even care about magic weapons with that guy? Is the Wolf Hammer enough?
It may be,
Yeah.
unless you're going up against something that's,
I
got
guess it.
ethereal. There's not
Well,
a
I
ton of that.
mean, can you take the equipped with, or they may replace with Wolf Hammers? Oh, you know what? He could take the Wolf Hammer, and he could take a magic weapon just in case you need to have a killing blow, or put the monster killing sword on him or something, and then just Wolf Hammer it otherwise.
Hmm.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I'm good. I like him. I'm on board.
All right. Let's go Order of Blazing Sun. Your Blazing Sun Knights gain the evasive and flaming attack special rule. So these guys, evasive, don't sleep on evasive. That's going to give you some, you get shot at and you get some extra movement, right? So that's kind of something. If you play it very well, you can kind of sneak yourself back out of range and actually not be shot at. So
It's when I remember that my Sisters of Avalorn have that, it's
yeah.
amazing with how much it messes with the opponent.
Oh yeah. It's great.
And this is a faster moving unit, so.
Yep. In addition, the Grandmaster, Chapter Master, a unit of Inner Circle Knights belonging to the Order of the Blazing Sun may claim an additional bonus of +1 combat result point when calculating its combat result during a turn in which it charges. The bonus is not cumulative.
That is fantastic, I feel.
So you got a free wound.
Free wound, get a war banner in there.
That does not suck.
Mm-mm.
All right. So here we go with the Knights of War. Gain the Hatred Undead models. Special rule. Have a 6+ war
Kind of
save
useless
against
right now, yeah.
any wounds suffered that were caused by a non-magical enemy attack.
That's good.
Really
That's good.
So we got some knights in the game. It's an addition Grandmaster, Chapter Master, unit Inner Circle Knights belonging to the Order of Knights of War gain the Fear and Magical Attack special rule.
That's solid.
Yep.
Like I said, the only thing that's a bum there is the Hatred Undead models, because you're not going to fight vampire counts right now because no one's running them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got Tomb Kings, right? So.
That's true. Sorry, I forget they exist sometimes. Even though I have the army.
Me too. They're not.
I think it's because you and I both secretly really want vampire counts to come back out.
Right.
They're so iconic.
They're undead. Actually, you saying that, I had that very thought in my head, but then I'm like, oh, Tomb Kings, right? So
yeah, you got there faster.
haven't gotten there yet, but you were getting there, I promise. Let's see here. Order of the Fiery Heart. Models belonging to the Order of the Fiery Heart can only be joined by a Grandmaster or Chapter Master belonging to the Order of Fiery Heart, a Lector of Sigmar, or a Priest of Sigmar. Gain the Hatred, Enemy Wizards, Orcs, and Goblins special rule. Have +1 initiative during the first round of combat. In addition, a Grandmaster, Chapter Master, or unit of the Inner Circle Knights belonging to the Order of Fiery Heart may reroll any rolls to hit or to wound of a natural 1 made during the combat phase.
That's pretty solid.
That is the first thing I saw in this that actually looked worth taking. So
that in the +1 initiative, because as a human, it's giving you the elf bonus of first round of combat and additional +1.
I guess, yeah. I guess
it might help. It might help in some edge cases. It's not going to help in everything.
Yeah,
like, characters will
still.
swing
Orcs and goblins, enemy wizards. Yeah, good luck getting to them. When you get to them, you've already killed the rest of the army. So
yeah, and orcs and goblins, unless you're fighting orcs and goblins, or someone brings chaos dwarves and they have that block of black orcs, I guess. But
yeah, so
neat.
Sure.
Let's see. We did ask our resident Empire player Cole, what about the items to look at here? So we'll call those out for you. So the first one, if you want to take it, Neil, is the Tapestry of Sigmar's Triumph.
Tapestry. Let me see. I'm trying to get there. That is Tapestry of Sigmar's Triumph. Here we go. 40 points. A unit carrying the Tapestry of Sigmar's Triumph may reroll any rolls to wound of a natural 1 during the first round of combat. That's really good.
There you go.
For 40 points, yeah, I'm taking that.
All right, and then the other one he told us to shut out is the Tome of Midnight for 30 points. The bearer of the Tome of Midnight may +1 modifier to any of their casting rolls while attempting to cast spells from Lore Demonology, Dark Magic, or Necromancy. In addition, they know one more spell chosen as the usual way than normal for the wizard level. However, the bearer can cast number of spells equal to the level wizardry per turn, and they're loner. So you're a loner, which is fine.
'Cause you're
But
probably not
essentially you're a level 5 that knows 5 spells, but you can only cast 4. So you're actually better than the bonus we can get on the high elves technically right now, because we can't get the bonus to cast. We can just get the bonus spell. So I like that for 30 points.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, especially if you want to start casting those all that BS with those wizard levels. Buff those knights up. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't mind this Shield of the Gorgon. Maybe a little bit heavy on the points here, but Gorgon. It can only be taken while Knightly Order Army of Infamy. In addition, whilst in base contact with the bearer, enemy models suffer a -1 modifier to their attacks characteristic to a minimum of 1.
okay.
Well, anything that debuffs attack numbers, I like that. Especially if you're using them in challenges or anything like that. So
That's not bad. I'm trying to see if there's anything here that's interesting to me.
it's not awesome. 40 points maybe a little bit too heavy for that, but
I'm just gonna read it out. I don't know what it does, but it's for known, so I gotta read it out for known.
sure.
20 points. Banner of the Free State of Known may be taken as by a model in a City State of Known Army of Infamy. Unit carrying this banner of Free State of Known gains Stubborn special rule. For 20 points, Stubborn, that better be a big unit. But I think the way I'd run it, that might actually be useful. But if I put Lone Hack in there, I don't know. Maybe it's not. All right. But also, you know what? Take it. Because I'm stubborn, like the Null City State, and that banner says, I'm stubborn, you take the stubborn banner. Let's lean in.
What's that? That's a Hammer of Righteousness for 50 points. 50 points is about, like if you want a really good weapon,
You better
right around
you better hope you're
50
killing
point mark
anything.
is where you want to be, right? Like maybe a little bit less, but I like a 50-point mark there. Saves you a little bit of room for some defense as well. But it's a strength +2, AP -2, magical attacks, requires 2 hand strikes last. That's not doing it for me.
Yeah, strikes last is where you turn it off.
For 50 points, that's not good. I mean, take a great weapon.
Yeah.
What does that do?
If your weapon's magical and it has strikes last, let me tell you, bro, it's not magical. It's no longer magical.
Yeah, models hit by the hammer must make a leadership test for each hit suffered. If the test is failed, the hit wounds automatically and no armor save is allowed. I mean, save yourself the 50 points and take a great weapon?
Yeah, that's not a great weapon.
No. No. God. I always like to see what's the best weapon you can take, like in the list of items or whatever, and you see something like that, and you're like, okay, all right.
Maybe
God,
in there, maybe in the
leadership tests I got to take. If you're taking that, right, it's on a big, like a general level character, it's maybe a hero, but that's all of his allotment, right? And then what are you doing? I mean, I don't know. It's way too much. Just way too much.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if the Empire has they probably have a better weapon. I mean, I bet the Rune Fang's better. Well, Rune Fang's 100 points. Combat strength, AP -2, magic attack strikes first. Wounds to roll cause Rune Fang 2+ always success to hit, to wound, regardless of toughness. Great. Okay, here. 50-point weapon you can get from the basic book. This will compare to what you just read through, right? Sword of Justice. It's combat weapon. Strength is S. AP -1. Armor Bane 1. Magical attacks. Multiple wounds 2. You may reroll any failed rolls to wound.
Huh?
For 50 points, that's better than the other one, I feel.
That's better than the other one for sure. Yeah.
You're probably taking a Rune Fang if you really want to kill, but assuming you have the points in the model for it. But there you go. There is Empire of Man Arcane Journal. Done and dusted. I think this is competing for my favorite Arcane Journal currently right now, next to Orcs and Goblins.
It's a good one.
Just because I do enjoy and can see myself wanting to run both versions of the Army of Infamy.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say those two are a close fight for first, and right behind that will be dwarf and mountain holds.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'd probably put these guys up on top because I'm more likely to play them than orcs and goblins, just personally.
This is for me. It's Orcs and Goblins one, but this I think that this Arcane Journal was highly needed
Yes.
for Empire, so I'm glad they got it. And yeah,
Yeah, I wish. Well, I don't. Infantry still needs a buff right now. It's sad that there's no major buff for infantry in this. But also, if they buffed it in here, then eventually buffed it in the game, then it might be too aggressive. So I get why they're maybe being a little bit more
sure.
conservative with that. But yeah, solid Arcane Journal. Empire folks out there, hope you're enjoying it. If you are an Empire player, let us know how you're running it. Let us know what we missed, or maybe what we got wrong, what we got right. You know, agreeing with us. That's a great way. I mean, I'm gonna like your comment either way, unless it has nothing to do with the show. So let us know, like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. But Neil, any closing thoughts as we part ways with the current Arcane Journal, and we set our sights on the horizon of the upcoming High Elf Arcane Journal?
No.
Yeah.
I think we covered it all. So I can't wait to, now that we've got this riffraff out of the way, we can
Yes.
focus on High Elves.
I would say this too. When we get to the High Elf Arcane Journal, tuck in, folks, because normally Neil and I, we just like doing the Arcane Journal reviews. We don't do the full army reviews. At least we haven't yet. I don't know if we would. There's plenty out there, but for the High Elf one, we may end up doing a basic army and Arcane Journal review in like a big episode where we record
We may
multiple
have
times.
to do that on like a Saturday morning coffee talk for like 4 hours. You know, that might be.
Yeah. I just have a feeling you and I will want to talk about it. So it might be even one of those like, hey, we start out Saturday morning, we have some coffee, we break for lunch with the family, come back in the evening and finish it up. That might be a long one, but that's still ways away. There's some other fun content coming up, including maybe what the Strength Hammer. Neil and I are both TOs here and regular gamers, so we're not just talking out of our ass. But what we would possibly put forward as sort of a comp for an event we would run if we were going to do like a heavy comp, even beyond what I did for Terathi. So that's coming up in the near future.
Yeah.
Maybe some 3D printing talk led by Neil, because he is the master of it. He's the 3D printing engineer of the old world there.
Works great until it doesn't.
Exactly. That said, though, don't forget, next week I'll be away traveling for work, so there'll be no regular podcast. However, I will say this: I am preparing that they're going to start talking about High Elves while I'm away, so you may see some crappy hotel videos from my work laptop being put up based upon any sort of like old world almanacs for High Elves they put out. So especially because if I have like hours in the hotel room an evening alone, I'll talk High Elves all night to myself. It's great.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so next week, no podcast, maybe some videos, depending on what the content is for GW that they put out. But we'll see you in a few weeks to talk something. Old World, Sigmar, what have you. Probably not 40K.
Thank God.
Yeah, just throw it out there. Probably not 40K. Sorry. All right. Take care, everybody. Stay Stormcast strong and happy hobbying.